We are going to be stitching the borders today, and I totally apologize to you. I wanted to have a video done and up and loaded for you, and it just wasn't possible. This was a crazy, crazy week. My sewing room was no longer my sewing room. It became a guest room, and yeah, it was a guest room, so I couldn't even get into my sewing room. So, I was chomping at the bit to get in here all morning, and I was finally able to get in, and but I had to wait until 9. So, before we get started, I thought I would show you a couple of things as people kind of trickle in. And I'm going to do design database transfer to send my designs over. I've already done it, but I just wanted to show you that again because I love design database transfer. I have not been using my USB at all. I am technologically challenged, but when it's easy enough, hi, Miss Gina, when it's easy enough, I'm going to do it. And if it makes my life easier, I'm going to do it too. So if you have not signed on to Design Database Transfer, you can go to your search bar, and I'm just going to type in Design Database Transfer. Here it comes up. There will be two options, a brother version, and there should be a baby lock version right here. So depending on which one you do, you are going to select that. So I already have everything loaded on my machine, but you can go ahead and click on Design Database Transfer, and then it gives you the information on what it is, and then you can download it. And once you download it, I have mine pinned to my taskbar, and it's this little itty bitty icon right there. So I'm going to go ahead and press that. Oh, mine's already up here. Let me get rid of all of this so I can start fresh for you. And it's going to look different depending on, I'm cherry picking. You cherry pick by holding down your control key and then touching whatever you want. So I'm cherry picking all of these because I'm going to get rid of them. Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to get rid of them. But let me show you how I pull everything up. I am actually going to be selecting the quilting designs that we're going to be using today. So I know that, and yours is going to look different than mine because of how you have everything organized. For me, I have everything in the cloud. And my cloud is right, there's a picture of the cloud. It says Jeanne Personal. So I'm going to touch that plus button. You're always going to touch the plus button over on the left-hand side. And I put mine into my new embroidery, although it's no longer new. I'm going to touch my plus button. This is how it looks for me because this is how I have it organized. And then I have a folder called Kimberbell Quilting right here. Kimberbell Quilting. So I'm going to press the plus button by Kimberbell Quilting. And there's my Hopping Down the Bunny Trail quilt folder. I'm going to touch that. And then I'm doing the borders. So I'm going to hit my plus button. And then here are my embroidery files, plus button. And then here's PES for me, plus. And once I've exhausted all my pluses, then I can touch my folder over here. Here are all the designs. So, when I do these sew-alongs, I have not done this a million times. It depends on what we're doing. For wallflower quilt, I have pre-stitched those. I have pre-filmed those. They're ready to go. But when I'm doing these larger projects, I don't have time to pre-stitch them and then do them again. So when I'm doing them with you, I'm doing them for the first time. And sometimes I'm kind of figuring things out. So I was trying to decide, should I do the 12-inch or the 14-inch side? So I'm going to go ahead and put both of those in my, I'm going to transfer both of those over. So I'm going to cherry pick. I have to see how I touch that when it deselects. So if you want to choose more than one, you're going to hold your control key, and now you can do what's called cherry picking, which is just selecting the ones that you want. Maybe I want to do 12 inches. Maybe your biggest hoop size is 10 inches. Go ahead and just add the 10-inch. The other part for the bunny part is 3 inches. So here are my 3-inch designs. So I'm just going to grab these just in case I want them. The 3x10, the 3x12, and the 3x14. When I went to do my transfer this morning, but need to finish the setup. It's so easy, Miss Betty. But there's little things that can make it difficult. When I went to select what machine I was going to send it to, my Evie is my Avenir. and the EVLE is the one at the store. The Lumi didn't come up. I've put it there, but sometimes it disappears. If your machine or you're setting it up for the first time is not there, you can go to this button, which is the machine with the settings with the gear. You touch that. Let me see. Touch that. Hang on. Okay, and it brings this up. This morning when I went to transfer it, only EV and EVLE were coming up. So I just hit add. You need to be on the network. Your computer needs to be on the network. Your machines need to be on the network. And then it can find them. So I hit add and it did searching and then Lumi came up. And then I just clicked Lumi and I hit add. And then it was there. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and X out of this. X out. Or maybe just cancel because it's already there. Cancel, X out. There we go. You've got to select what machine you want to send it to. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my down arrow. And I'm using my Lumi today. Those are selected, but they need to be down here in the bottom box. So I'm just going to hit the down arrow. And the designs, only the ones I cherry picked are going to go down here. And then the last thing you do is you hit the send to your machine. Done. No more USB. It just sent it. So now when I go over here, you're going to see it twice because I did do it this morning already because I was playing around with it. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go embroidery, pocket. When you bring design database transfer, you're not pulling from your machine. You're not pulling from a USB or what's that? An SD card. You're pulling from the cloud, the Wi-Fi. And so there are my designs. Okay, another thing I wanted to show you, just a little quickie lesson, is if you are on the Luminaire, the Avenir, the Radiance, or the Solaris, and for those of you that don't have those machines, I'm sorry. But you know, these are the machines I work on, and that's why I do these mini lessons on these machines. So, when you do upgrade and get those machines, you'll know how to use them. I want to get rid of some of these. I don't save a bunch of designs on my machine. I never have. And you don't want to either because it bogs down your machine. So if you're not using them, and I have these saved on my computer, get rid of them. Don't bog your machine down. Don't fill up the memory on your machine. So I'm going to get rid of the things I've already done. This is how you do it. So right here you have this button. That looks like the little square with the pen, which means you're going to edit your designs. I'm going to go ahead and touch that. Now you have to open that up first. I'm going to get rid of all the ones that I've already stitched out. So I'm going to get rid of these. And I've already stitched this out. And then I can go delete. I could have just hit select all and delete, select none. I can deselect by just hitting that button. But now that those are highlighted, I'm just going to hit delete. And now I don't have all of that riffraff in here. But these are in here twice. That might be a little confusing for me, but that's okay. I can, because I brought it in once and then I brought it another time. I'll just leave it for right now. All right. Are we ready? I'm going to bring up my screen so I can see your comments. Because I was in my design database, so I couldn't see them. So just bear with me. Is it okay to say I'm so glad all the kids are gone? I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm excited for it to just be me and Patrick. The love of my life, Patrick Mulligan. Okay, YouTube. I'm going to show you how to find us. Because some of you have trouble finding us. And don't tell anyone that I said that. It's just our little secret. So I'm going to YouTube. I struggle just to find our stuff too. And if you go to YouTube and oh my goodness, I've been watching them and I hear there's only 2 chicks left. Is that true? Okay, I'm going to put in A1 vacuum and sewing in Reno. Because I had somebody ask me, what's the easiest way to find the videos? If their YouTube videos, Zoom videos have been sent to you, you should just do a search for me because they get sent from my email. So if it was a Zoom class, you are just going to go to your email and do a search for me. If it's something that's been recorded on YouTube, go to our YouTube page, and it's this right here. It's going to be A1 Vacuum and Sewing in Reno. And right now you can see that I'm live, so you can just click that. If you're looking for previous videos, go to our YouTube page and then go to the magnifying glass, and you can type in Hoppin. And now you can find all the Hoppin videos, okay? So the easiest thing to do, though, is go to our main YouTube page. Right now I can go to live. And that's us right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. So hopefully that helps you find things, because I know I struggle to find stuff. Oh, so hopefully, yeah. Now, see, now I'm struggling because I'm like, where's my live? Here it is. Okay, I'm going to go here. And there I am. And I'm going to put on my chat. Here we go. I'll be able to look and see what you guys are asking for. And we are going to get started. So regarding the video for this, I didn't get to do it until this morning. I literally waited. We call my sewing room Finn's room. Every time Finn comes, he stays in my sewing room. And I waited for him. They said they were going to leave at 9 o'clock. So I was like, okay, they should be up by 8. And then I can get into my sewing room. Those kids did not get up until 9 o'clock. And I finally threw open the door and I said, wakey, wakey, Jeannie Mulligan needs to sew. So let me see if I'm missing anything, because I've not been looking at your comments. Have not been looking. Oh, Linda, like I loaded it and then I did a video and I started to panic because it wasn't there. And so now I know sometimes it just disappears and you just have to add it again, and it's very easy to add it as long as everything needs to be turned on too. Your machine needs to be turned on for it to find it. So I'm just going to look at your emails for a quick minute, or your little messages, and we are ready to go. So what I did, and I will load the video later. Should we have put let me get you ready. Let me start by saying there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I hate that saying, but I love that saying at the same time. There's more than one way to do this. When I hooped up this morning, the first thing I did is I hooped up in my 10.5 by 10.5. And then I was like, you know what? That means I can only do 10 inches at a time. And this is 16 inches by 38 inches. I'm going to have to do 4 hoopings. Let's do something bigger. And I still might have to do 4 hoopings, but I'm going to try and do the 14 inches. So instead I'm going to go into my 9.5 by 14 inch hoop, because I'm going to have a little extra length. What if you don't have that hoop? You're going to just work with what you have. If you have a 6 by 10, your biggest lengthwise is going to be the 10 inch. You're just going to choose that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you have the 7 by 12, you're going to be doing the 12 inch. You could do the 10 inch too. It gives you a little more room back and forth to be able to place. So you don't have to do it this way. This is how I'm going to be doing it. And you can modify it for however it's going to work for you. I'm going to be doing, and when I first did it, I loaded my 1 inch design and my 3 inch design. And then I went, wait a minute, that's going to make it more complicated. Because as I was trying to put them together, they were overlapping. I was like, how am I going to explain what line to use? So what I'm going to do is this is how I'm set up. You do not have to do it like this. I'm set up with my 9.5 by 14 inch hoop. I do not use my snap hoops when I'm hooping just muslin or stabilizer, because it's hard the magnet is so strong, it's hard to pull it taut without stretching it one way or the other. I do like these hoops. If I had a brother magnetic hoop that was 9.5 by 14, I would be using that, but I don't. I have 7 by 12, and I didn't want to use the one with the big beefy magnets either, so I'm back to my regular hoops. That's why it's nice to have every single hoop that they make. But I know that's not possible all the time. Treat yourself. When we do those brother sales, treat yourself to a hoop that's going to make your life easier. So this is a 9.5 by 14. It comes with a lot of the machines, did not come with the Luminaire, did not come with the Avenir, but it did come with the Destiny, the Dream Machine. I know a lot of you have added it to your collection. If you have the 7 by 12, do that. You can use the 7 by 12, and then you could, because I'm just doing one at a time. The reason I cut my muslin to 16 inches is because I am going to hoop this way. I'm going to leave everything in the hoop, and then I'm going to scoot it over, and I'm going to do everything on the right-hand side. Okay, so I'm going to do here, scoot it to the left, and then I'll work over here, and then I'll do the right-hand side. So I'm thinking 16 inches is going to work. I'm not positive because I haven't done it yet. So I cut my muslin to 16 inches. If you have a 10-inch hoop and you want to use that, 16 inches is going to work for that too. You're just going to be selecting the 10-inch in length design. Okay? So lots of different hoops that you can use. I did not do SF 101. Can you do SF 101? Absolutely. But I didn't do it just because there's nothing on the back that's really going to be shadowing through. I don't feel like it has to have that extra stabilization to beef it up. So I'm just going to be doing it. It's just going to be a quick quilting stitch. If it was going to be more embroidery that was going to be heavy, yes, I would probably have put on the SF 101, but I didn't. So, and I did do this video, and I'm going to post this video. I pieced together, I left it in the larger sizes. Because when I looked at the instructions, we'll just do a little setup, a little explanation. You guys can cut, you can prepare if you need to. You're going to see there's 2 sets of instructions here. One is standard, which means you're not going to be doing the block by block quilting, and the other one is block by block quilting. Mine had already been pre-cut with this, so I just left it here, even though it's kind of going to be more standard, and then clear blue tiles, which means we're just going to be stitching out the quilting part, or that's all I'm going to be doing. Because I looked at it and I went, all right, so the only thing that really matters is on the blocks from left to right, they both, for standard and block by block, it's the same. Really where it's going to get bigger is the height of it. So I was like, okay, I'll just trim down the height afterwards. So I just left it with those measurements. I was like, should I trim them down? What should I do? Because you're going to see block by block. Actually, it is a little bit longer. It's bigger all the way around. Except like the inner parts. Like these are all the same. These are all the same. So I just left it. We'll trim it down as we see fit later on. Let me look at your questions. Sharon says, I'm glad that you're able to make it, Sharon. So we're just doing this. We're going to make it work. And this is probably what's going to be easiest for me. Batting. I cut my batting a little bit bigger, and then I'll trim it out of there. I might not even trim it out of the seam. It's just Hobbs 80/20. It's not that thick. It doesn't bother me that it's going to be in the seams for a bench pillow. So I might trim it out of the seams. I might not. I have a George ruler that I'll show you if I do decide to trim it out of the seams. As far as the designs, I loaded the 1x10, the 1x12, and the 1x14. So I loaded all 3 sizes so that I can decide as we go. So for the designs, I loaded the, and I'll post this too. I'll put it in the spreadsheet when I finally, when we finish it. So I wish I could give you more information. It could be all done and, but time does not permit. So I loaded all of these, and that way I could pull them up and have options. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, and if you don't have this size, just use whatever size. I'm doing one at a time, so you're just going to run it right down the middle. Just keep it easy. Simple stupid is what I like to call it. I'm keeping it simple stupid. So this is not attached. However, yeah, and I'm not going to attach it right now. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to give my batting a little press I mean, not a press, a little shot of spray, and I'm going to lay it down. I'm not going to spray the entire back of it. I have buy batting on the bolt, so I have this big long strip. However, if you don't have that, that's okay. And like later on, like when I have pieces that are like 1 inch, I just abut them. Like I don't even sew them together. I just lay them down and stitch on top of them because mine are not, like if you're going to be washing it a lot, okay, you want to secure it, but mine are just hanging up on the wall and they're just they're just decoration. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a little shot of spray to the back, just what's going to fit into the hoop. Let me get my spray box. I do have a spray box that I use sometimes. I'm using a lot of brain power today. And if you want to watch before you do any of this, you're welcome to do. You might want to do that. What if I do something crazy? Because this is going rogue. Right now what we're doing is we are going rogue. Here's my spray box. My favorite spray box at this point is an old snap hoop box. I'm just going to lay it like this. I'm just going to spray this part right here that I'm going to put down in the hoop. Don't spray the whole thing. Lightly. Don't go crazy. You don't need a ton of spray. I'm gonna lay this down, and just for point of reference, I'm just gonna lay it so that this is near the top, although we have probably about 1.5 inches of no-sew area, and I'm just gonna lay it down so the edge is nice and close to the edge of the hoop. You have about 1/2 inch of no-sew area. That's why when people get confused sometimes because they measure the inside of the hoop or the outside of the hoop, they don't realize that this is your 9.5 by 14. You have no-sew area about 1.5 inches on the bottom, 1.5 inches on the top, and about 1/2 inch on either side because you don't want your foot to go right to that edge. And I'm going to just lay that down. Now I'm going to grab one of my strips. Let's pay attention to the strip. So I'm going to do the top strip first because there is writing on it and I want mine to be so the Hoppin, you can read that no matter which way you look at the pillow. Good. Ooh, Miss Diane's here. Okay, I'm doing the top one first. I'm assuming this is the top one, but let's look at the pillow. Yes, it's the one with the light blue in the corner. So I'm going to lay that one down. Let me grab that one. Here it is. I'm not going to totally lay it down right now because I am going to use my projector. What if you don't have a projector? I'm going to show you how to use the you have buttons on here where you can go top left of your design, top right of your design. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to give this a light spray, but I'm not going to push it down because I'm going to be moving it around to make sure I'm using it and getting perfect placement. So put this in my spray tent and I'm just going to spray about 14 inches of it. But I'm going to leave you watching my empty hoop. But before I lay it down, we are going to turn on the projector. All right, select your design. Go big or go home. I'm going to go, I was like thinking that I would do the 1 inch by 12 inch, and that would give me 1 inch top and bottom that if I didn't hoop right, that I could move it around. You might want to do that if you don't have a camera to give you room for error. But since I do have my projector and my camera and all of that, I'm going to select the 1 inch by 14 inch. So I don't know which one is which. So I'm going to look up here. Why isn't it loading? Oh, you know why it's not loading? I'm still in this. So I have to get out of here. You just touch this button again. Do you see that? That's going to give you your options for deleting. And so touch that again. Now we can select. So now it gives me my dimension 10 by 4.8. I want a bigger one. There, 13.97. That's the one I want. So I'm going to go ahead and say set. I'm going to come up here to my settings button. I'm going to choose my hoop size. Always choose your hoop size so you know how much room you have to work with. So you're not going to use any of the, I'm not even going to use the tack down lines. we're not even playing with those. So I'm going to go ahead and select my 9.5 by 14 inch hoop. I'm going to leave everything here. I might slow my speed down in case I need to just move it a little bit. I'm going to go to 800 stitches per minute. Everything else, default, needle should end up, and do your automatic embroidery foot down if you have that feature. And I'm going to say okay. Now think about your piece of fabric. Is this gonna, because I'm going to lay it down like this, and I want you to look at your writing. Can you read that right? Like if you have it the other way. And mine's going to be right because this is going to turn this way. So it will say hop right. So just make sure that the writing's not upside down. It might be upside down when we lay down our other piece, but this is the right orientation. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. And I'm going to go edit, move. I'm going to scoot it all the way to the left. But not outside my 9.5 by 14 inch field. That's why you put that up there, so you know you're not going to be out of the field. And I'm just going to stitch this first. I'm not even going to worry about the rest of it. I'm going to go ahead and say okay. Embroidery. I'm not laying my fabric down because now we're going to turn on our projector. If you don't have the projector, you know what? Let me show you how to do it if you don't have the projector. You have these buttons down here. And what this will do is it'll give you the top left of your embroidery design, the top right of your embroidery design. You can pick the middle point so you can get it all straightened, and then the bottom right. Most of the Baby Lock and Brother machines have this. So first thing I'm going to choose the top right of my design. And, we want but you're going to see it's going to have the, that's going to include your tack down line, your placement, your tack down, and that inner one is going to be your stitch line. That's what those 3 lines are. The one to the right is the blue is your placement for your fabric. The next one is your tack down, and the inner one is going to be, so you kind of have to be mindful of that. But it'll at least help you get your fabric nice and straight. Oh yeah, let's do this. Let's see if our W plus will show up. That is not on all machines either. Do you see how it has that little dot? So that's showing me my upper rightmost point. I'm going to change mine to red. Red just shows up. Page 6. I just changed my my pointer color. W plus if you have it. There it is, right there. I don't know if you can see that any better. Probably not. But that is going to be the top rightmost point. So you could just lay this down. If you wanted to stitch right to the edge, I want a 1/4 inch. I'm just going to go ahead and put it up a little bit further up. 1/4 inch. You can see it on my fabric a little bit better. Now let's go middle right. And I'm going to tell you, you probably want to be a 1/4 inch in because that's your placement. You have a placement, a tack down. So you kind of have to eyeball it a little bit. If you don't have this, you don't have the W plus, you can hand roll it and go, okay, that's where it's going to go. It's what you have to do. I'm going to go center right. It's asking me to fix my needle position. Okay, now you can get this in line too. There we go. And now you're going to go last one, bottom right. So if you do not have a projector, you can still go old school and use these buttons. And that's going to be, you're going to be pretty close to where it's going to stitch. Okay? Just showing you that. And most of the machines have that if you have a Brother or Baby Lock. Right now I'm on my Luminaire. So I'm going to go ahead and just say okay, and I'm going to turn on my projector. To use your projector, you have to be at stitch 0 or else it's not going to work. So I'm going to go ahead. Even if you do 1 stitch in, it's not going to work. Projector will always come in center. The projector is a red box on your screen. If you want to move the projector, you move the projector with your finger. You move the design with your arrows. So you're not going to see it, but I'm going to move this over to the top. And you'll see it move on the bed of my machine. All right, I'm going to use that to lay it down. All right, I can see it, but I want to see if maybe if I use some of the different backgrounds, I can see it a little bit better. So if you look at your screen, you're going to see it says background color. So I'm going to, right now I'm on white. I'm going to try it on gray, and I'm going to try it on black to see which one shows up the best. So that one looks pretty good. Gray looks okay. I like the black the best. So you never know what's going to show up the best for you, but I'm going to go ahead and just do the black. I'm going to leave about a 1/4 inch on the top because that's going to get sewn into my seam. And I'm going to put the orange line, because that's the stitch line. I'm going to put it right on the seam that sews together my border, my inner border, and the larger outer border strips. So that's why I didn't kind of push this down yet, because I'm going to move my fabric over. And there. You have loft. Your fabric has loft. So to be accurate, you have to push it down with your finger. See, I'm not quite on it, so I'm going to move it over a little bit. See if that looks good. When I push it down, it's right on. So I'm just going to go ahead and push it down. That orange line, which is going to be your sew line, that is what I'm focusing on and making sure it's beds down. So this is, I know there's times where people will come into the store and they go, I don't want all of those features because it makes it too hard. But I want you to know that some of these features make it easier. And your projector is one of those features that can make it easier for you to do placement. Placement can be tough, but not when you have your projector. So now I need to go to the next section. I'm just going to take this and move it down a little bit so I can see the next area. Here we go. And now I'm going to just press it down with my finger to make sure it's right where I want it to be. Here we go. And you can do, Judica, if you want, we can do the tack down. Like, we'll just do it on one side. We don't have to do it on both sides. We can skip ahead, and so it'll be down. But I have some spray adhesive on here, so I'm going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead, move this down to my next area. If you're on the Avenir, I'm not on my Avenir today because it will gray out, and then I have to hit a button to ungray it. So I'm just doing this until I do my next couple of upgrades. And move it down to the next area. So now we can check this. I'm going to go ahead and press it down so that seam is right there. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch out the quilting design. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to fast forward and stitch out the quilting design. I'm not going to show you me moving the box on the screen. I'm just going to move it here so you'll see it move. There we go. Push it down because it looks different. That stitch is not where the projected stitch is not where it is until you push your finger down. There we go. And I'm good. So I'm going to go ahead and just push this down. And let's go ahead and stitch. How was that? Pretty fun, right? I wanted that because it would be really... So, but you did see what I showed you. If you do not have that feature, what I want you to do, the issue with me showing you that other way is it's going to the blue line. It's not going to the orange line, which is what I've just placed down the seam. You kind of have to eyeball it just a little bit. So you would have to do, like I said, I'm going to just say, okay, projector's going to go off. You look how far my dot is. So my W plus is still on. And it's about 1/4 inch. You could just get your ruler out. It's not a big deal, right? It's going to be still kind of precise placement. You can go to this button right here. And I can hit my rightmost center. Oh, I had you go the wrong way. Good thing I'm showing you this. Because it was the wrong direction. But, let me get a ruler. I was showing you the dot going to the inside, but it's really the outside. So there's my center. Do you see it right there? but that's going to be a 1/4 inch. And I can't move my whole ruler over there, but see that? It's a 1/4 inch from that seam. So you do the center, do the top, do the center, do the bottom, because that's going to make sure you're in a straight line. Now if we go top right, and if you don't have the W plus, you're just going to hand roll your needle down. That's not a big deal either. Sometimes I still do that, and then you'll measure. You're going to be in my 1/4 inch. Yes. So it's another great way of doing placement. That's super easy. But I did it with the camera, so I'm just going to put this back up. Let's go ahead. Thread color. Flint. That's what it's recommending. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And I already changed my mind. After I said we were going to stitch this whole thing, we're going to stitch this, and then we'll stitch this one. So let me go ahead and put the thread in. At least we're going to do it for the first one. My take-up lever was not all the way up because I was hand rolling. So I'm going to thread. But if you do have one of these machines and you have a projector, there's so many great ways that you can use it. And I'm going to come in here, say okay. We can do the tack down if we want. So this one is the placement for your background fabric. We're not going to do that because we sewed it all together. This orange, and how do we get there? Through this button. This is where you go forward and backward stitches. And I'm going to go to the orange, which is my tack down. It's showing it here, so it's going to tack it down on the left-hand side. So if you want to do that, you can go ahead and do that. And then we can also go to, which one is that? Oh, batting, sorry. This is placement for your batting, tack down for your batting, placement stitch for your background fabric, tack down for your background fabric. So if you want to do that, you can. And why don't we do it? We'll just do it on the left-hand side just to hold everything down. You're there. But you're going to hit stop when it cuts down at the bottom. I don't know. I was just thinking about it. I just play with ideas in my head and go, okay, what's going to be the easiest way and the most accurate way to do this? I'm going to just go ahead, hit stop, or it's... Now it wants to do the tack down on the other side. We're not going to do that because we already have this down. We are going to do the, this stitch, the hop stitch. So I got to skip ahead or else it's going to sew down the right side. And now you can see here, it's going to have the quilting stitch. Okay. We're going to go ahead and stitch that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. Oh, Miss Cindy West, I didn't know you got yours. Congratulations. Yeah, there's, you know, and it's, you just think about it. There's different ways of doing it. And honestly, I had no idea before I started doing it how I was going to do it. So I just kind of made this up in my head as we went. I was like, oh, I think this will work. I initially had, like I said, hooped up my 10.5 by 10.5. And I was going to try and run 2 strips down the center. When I went to load my designs, they weren't the same length. So the 1-inch design and the other design were not the same length. And that's why we're doing it like this. And I'm not sure how much we're going to have to trim off. I'm going to have to read the directions and let you know. I don't know right now. Because we're not doing the block by block quilting. The other thing I was thinking of, it wasn't. So you know the design we just laid down was 13.97 inches. The 14-inch, which was just shy of 14 inches. The 14-inch design with this was not long. It was like much shorter. So we might stretch it to fit it. Hello, ladies and gents. Oh my goodness. Speaking of gents, Michael C. sent me a picture. Have you guys seen the design that they're doing for, I think it comes out in September, but it's their holiday. I can't actually remember if it was holiday or just winter, but it was the purple one. Have you guys seen that? I love it. I love it because it's different. It is cute. And I love it when they do something where I'm like, oh, that's kind of different. How cute is that quilting design? It is adorable. I'm pretty sure we're going to trim an 1/8 of an inch from this, but I'm not positive. But I think that's where we're going to trim. I'm going to have to read the directions and just make sure before I give you final instructions. Okay, we're done with that. Let's go ahead. We're going to load the bunny. So I'm going to say okay. I'm going to go home to clear my screen. And this, I mean, you know, if I wasn't talking to you guys and explaining it, I really don't think this would take me too long. Maybe it'll take me half an hour to do each side. So I'm going to go home. It will clear my screen. I'm going to go embroidery, pocket. And remember, I pulled from Design Database. I really want you guys to embrace Design Database because it is really easy. And we're doing one of the 3-inch designs. So let's see how big that one is. Oh, it's exactly 14 inches. Should we make it 13.9 to be the same as the other one? I'm going to go ahead and set it. And I'm going to size it. So it's the exact size as the other one. So we run it down. They'll fit exactly the same. Don't use these buttons because we're not making it skinnier and shorter. We are just going to squeeze it this way. Oh, that's too much. I'm going back. I'm going back to 14 because it's only 0.3 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. And we're going to go ahead and say okay to that. So we don't choose block by block. I am doing block by block. However, I'm not stitching out because I've already sewn this together. I already laid down a big piece of batting here. I am not doing traditional block by block. I am just stitching out the last part of the design, which is the embroidery design. And I was interested looking at it that they don't give you that option. There was not an option for block by block in clear blue tiles. All they have now was block by block. Okay, you can come in. You have no idea how naughty Poppy was this morning. She literally went to one of the boys' plates and it looked like she was saying hi, but she took 2 pieces of bacon right off his plate. It was so fast. Okay, so we are doing block by block, but we're skipping everything except I did do the tack down on one side, and then we're doing the quilting stitch. But it doesn't like the 11 by 18. So Rhonda, when you say it doesn't like the 11 by 18 hoop of the Avenir, what do you mean by that? Tell me so I can, you know, the Japanese engineers are coming to our store tomorrow. Patrick and I are going to be there with them, and we're going to be talking everything Avenir. And I would love for you to tell me what you mean by that, and I can talk to them about that too. Next design. Here we go. You still should already be there, 9.5 by 14 if you're using this hoop or whatever hoop size you're using. I did slow my speed down because I'm like, oh my God, what if I have to catch it? I have very slow reflexes. And now I'm just going to go embroidery. Look at your design. Make sure it's in the right orientation. This is perfect for mine because I'm going to take my design and then it's going to look like this. So that's how I want it to be. When we do the next one, you might be thinking about that because you might have to swing it. It will not send the design that is that. Oh, wow. I'm going to, Rhonda, do you have my email? Can you email me that? Because I want to make sure I tell them that. Okay. I'm going to use my projector again. So here's my projector. I'm going to start at the very top. I just want to make sure it's where it needs to be. And now I'm just going to move it. You move your design with the arrows. You move your projector with your finger on the screen. And what I want is, whoop, I need to move my projector over. I want this line right there, that to be my seam. That's going to go on my seam. This is placement, tack down, and that is your sew line. And I just did this so I have about 1/4 inch on the top. Now I can rotate too. So I'm going to check it just to make sure and push it down with your finger. So see when I push it down right here, it's to the left a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to move it one more click to the right. That looks good. And now I'm going to just pull my projector down with my finger and just make sure it looks good the whole way. Looks good. I might rotate my design just like one little click this way. See if that gets me lined up. That's pretty perfect. See how far to the right it looks, but when I push it down with my finger, it's right there on the seam. So you always have to make sure you don't trust just what it's projecting. The projector does not take into account loft. Let's see at the very bottom of it. Yeah, it is spot on right on that seam. Okay, looks good. We're going to skip some steps. I'm going to go ahead to skip steps. You're going to go to this button down here. That is placement for batting. We already put ours down. Tack down for batting. We're going to trim it afterwards. Oh, I could flip this back. And should we do that? We could flip that back and down, and then it'll be perfect. Oh, I'm going to do that. See how I'm just thinking as we go? But I need to watch it to make sure it doesn't go over here. So this is going to be the tack down and trim for your batting. Let's do it. I got to make sure it doesn't go to the left. Perfect. And we'll just trim it out on this side, and then it will not be in our seam. Oh my goodness, hang on. Poppy is on my lap and on my batting. Here we go. This is why I slowed it down. You don't know what you're... She's hitting my camera. And I'm going to stop it right here and cut. Okay. Oh, you know what? After I did that, I want to run this all the way down. So if I do trim it, I'm only going to trim it up here on the right-hand side. Okay. This is me thinking as we go, because I'm not going to trim it this way. I'm going to keep running it so it's one continuous piece. So, should I trim this on the right-hand side? I can't decide. Let's try it. We'll see how it goes, okay? You're afraid? I'm afraid. You guys are all watching me. I'm like, what if it doesn't work? Should I go ahead and trim that? And then we don't have to trim it. It's not going to be in the seam. And then maybe we'll just trim it left and right. I'm going to go ahead and trim this. Just from here. We might hate this. You might be like, oh my God, that was the worst class ever. That was the worst class ever. She gave me really bad instruction. To which I'll say, you get what you pay for. Alrighty. I don't know if I got a bad pair of Kimberbell larger ones. Mine don't cut. So I'm just gonna, or maybe these. I had one pair that I had Patrick sharpen for me, and you know it matters if you're lefty or righty, and so I do hold my scissors like a. Hello, let's just do these. I hold them like a lefty that cuts with righty scissors, and it does it. I can't have somebody that is a right-handed person sharpen my scissors because they're sharpening it for a righty. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think I have to go sharpen. I got to just start fresh. we're going to try this and see. And then this is going to be trimmed out of my seam. Maybe the left side, I'll just go ahead and trim that with my George trimmer to show you that tool. I know, right, Linda? I'm scared too, Linda. But all they kept telling me is the size of the largest hoop for the Avenir. Reading your notes. Okay, we're going to skip some steps. We're going to leave this. Don't cut this, the length of it, because we want it to be all one piece. And that was the tack down for my batting. That is the placement for your background. You don't need it if you're doing what I did, because I already placed it. This is the tack down. Now, if you look, it's going here. It wants to do that side first. I don't need that because that would be sewing over here. I don't need it. So I'm going to skip ahead. So I'm just going to hit +10. Do you see how it's moving to tell me where I am? I'm just going to hold down my +10s. Okay, and now I'm getting close. And now I'm going to hit +1s until I bump to the other side. There. Now I'm going up the other side. All right. That's why I love this page and I stay on this page, because this is where I can fast forward steps. I'm going to get my little spatula so I can hold everything down without my finger getting sewn down. So this is my tack down on the other side, which will be really good because I can trim from this. Please don't engage in risky behavior with your fingers. And now we're going to do the cutie quilting stitch, which is so adorable. I'm going to go ahead and just hit start. Look how spot on that is. Is that exciting? When you have features on your machine that allow you to have stitching that's so spot on. Oh, I am a little over. That's okay. I'm just going to kind of watch it as I go, because you are the boss. See how if I'm a little over, I can just kind of, with my finger. I wonder if you do this separately, if that gets sewn in the seam. Because I think there is going to be a line of, ooh, stitch in the ditch. Can you live with that? If you sew it together and you do it the way I'm doing it, you are going to have a line of stitching. Oh, are you serious? Is it saying we don't have any? We have kits. We have Hoppin Down the Bunny Trail kits. So I will check that. But I'm going to try and control that stitch in the ditch here. This is where the luminary. Yeah, we have those, Sharon. I'm so sad that that's not up there. Okay, see, I'm pulling it over, so we're stitching in the ditch. So don't forget, like, there are times where I'm not spot on, and I will just go ahead and manually pull my fabric left or right. Because remind yourself, you are the boss. Not your project. You. But I'm pretty impressed with how close I am. Okay, you do want to take time when you're hooping. You want to press down. You want to make sure you're right in that seam. Oop. And you got to be okay with that line of stitching going down the middle. I'll show you what it looks like. You know, I have a lot of people that tell me that they, you know, watching the videos helps them become more confident with their machine and the things that it can do. And there's, you know, I'm sure that people are doing this all different ways. Um, I've never done this, so I didn't know that this was going to go down the middle, but you're going to, if you, as long as you're okay with it, you can see mine is a little below, a little above, and then down here I got smarter. And I started like paying attention to my fabric a little more. I'm fine with it, but this is what it's going to look like. I'm pretty sure I'm going to read my instructions that we're going to be trimming this about 1/8 of an inch on either side. So I like that we did that tack down Dudica because we're going to trim on the outside of that. And if you do 1/8 of an inch, then when you sew 1/4 of an inch, it's going to encase that. So you're going to be sewing, cut 1/8 of an inch, or trim 1/8 of an inch to the outside, sew 1/8 of an inch to the inside. It will encase that. Okay? All right. Rehooping. Let's go ahead and rehoop. This is where using the 12-inch might be a little bit easier because we might have to adjust it a little bit up or down. See, this is your no-sew area. What is that? Maybe like 1.25 inches or something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and rehoop. You got to be mindful of that. We're going to keep this stuff to the top. Look at all my batting. I've got a big old piece of batting. Okay. This is the tougher part, and we might have to adjust it. I'm going to look at this. See how I marked my hoop? I think I marked this. That's where the stitching starts, about there. So I'm going to rehoop. And if you want to, I never mark my hoops. I'm going to mark my hoop right now. What can I mark it with? I'm going to mark it with a piece of tape. I don't like marking up my stuff. I like it like kind of pristine. Like I put stickers on my stuff, and usually I do not Sharpie or anything. But do you see how that is the top of my stitching? So that's going to help me with my rehooping. I'm just going to pull this off here. Painter's tape's always good to have. Did I get that spot on? Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. I'm going to do the same thing over on the other side. Oh, it's much lower than my mark over there is not accurate. It's going to be right here. Okay. That's just going to be for hooping up. And it made it so much easier. You used your magnetic coop. What is that? Because I want easy. What is that? Send me an email and tell me what the magnetic coop is. Are you saying the magnetic hoop? Okay, I'm going to scoot this up. The reason I don't do the magnetic hoop with this is because the muslin, because my muslin is although the 7x12 would be great, but I'm doing the 14-inch design. If I do the 14-inch design, I have what, 28 inches, 38 inches, 42, so I should just be doing 3 hoopings. Okay, this is the end right here. So we want the end to be lined up with the beginning. And you know what I have on here? I have double-sided basting tape. So I can slide this under. I can put my top hoop down and then my top hoop, and then slip the other one underneath. That's right. That's what we can do. See how this one is right in, like there where it ended? So I'm just lining this up with this. Then I'm going to go ahead and push this down. Should hold it down. And then I'm going to slip my other hoop underneath. I'm going to take this out so it's not too bulky on the bottom. So it'll go on the top. Oh my God, that's a lot of batting. I'm going to clip this bottom part so all that muslin doesn't make a big old mess. And I'm going to slide my other hoop under. And we should be good to go. So when I teach edge to edge quilting, I always use double-sided basting tape just to put my hoop down and hold it in place. That looks pretty good. And we can hold this. I don't think I have. Do I have tape on the bottom? I don't think so. I'm going to slip this one under. That should hold it in place. And hopefully we'll be right where we need to be and I won't have to move stuff around too much. Okay, I know I'm going to have to loosen up my hoop a little because now I have some batting in there. And I like to put it in and then walk my hands down. And I'm hooped and ready to go. I want this to be under just next to. Okay. The next hooping will be easier because I did this. I thought it out. I know what I'm doing. So when you hoop, I want you to go ahead, make sure the hoops are even. You're going to hand tighten. And then you're going to use your hoop screwdriver, which I took mine to the store. I need to have 2 on hand. I took mine to the store so I don't have it. And then you pull in, get all those wrinkles out. And then take your hoop screwdriver. If you don't have one, use a regular screwdriver. This should never be loose enough for you to undo by hand. And when you do that, just a couple of turns where it is easy to turn, but you're making it nice and firm. And I'm going to take this over to the machine and we're going to be ready to hoop again or stitch. Okay, to the machine. To the machine, to the machine. Fluff your fabric. Make sure nothing gets turned under. You don't want to hoop. You don't want to embroider down what you just embroidered. And let's come on over. Shout out to my favorite new little table, this little guy. And I love him, and I just drag him all over the room. He's the best. I got it on Amazon. Okay, I didn't spray. And you know I don't like to spray in the hoop, but I'm going to go ahead and just give this a little shot of spray. I'll block it with my hand. I'm just going to spray down here. Just a little bit. What you don't want is you don't want spray getting on your hoop. I'll put this down. But I don't want it moving around. And it's batting. Batting is pretty grippy. Grippy without anything. How are we doing? Hopefully you guys are, you might be like, oh, that looks really hard. We'll put this down. I'm going to slide it on, and we're going to do we're going to turn on our projector, and we're going to place and stitch. Here we go. Miss Cindy, you're using your 7x12. And yeah, if you don't want to be like moving around and like having to be so anal about it, then use a bigger piece of muslin. You could just do it right down the center. You don't have to do it on the edge. There are things I do that maybe make it harder. Sorry. Oh my goodness. And you can do the 7x12. If you use the 7x12, use the you can use the 1x7 design and the 1x12 inch design and the 3x12 inch design. And the nice thing about that is if you're just off right here, you can just take off these 2 magnets and move it. You don't have to take the whole thing off and rehoop. Maybe we should have done that. Should I do that? You know what I'll do? I'll do this strip with my 9.5 by 14, and I'll do the other strip with my 10 by 17, and we'll see which one's going to be like way easier. I could still use this edge of my fabric, and we'll do that. It'll be dueling hoops, and we'll see which one is easier. Because you want to get stuff that's going to make your life easier. All right, finish embroidering. So I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And that design's already in there. I can stitch that one first. I don't have to do the other one first. Let's just do this one. So it should be right where it needs to be. Let's go ahead and project. Say okay to get out of here, to get to this screen. There's my projector. You do have to be on stitch 0, which we are, and just hit your projector. What we really want to check out is that top part to see how we're meeting with the one that we just stitched. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up to the top. Here we go. And we want this design to be all the way over here. And look at my flowers. I'm going to change my background. Maybe I can see it better with a different background. Let's go white on the... So this is what's projecting, and the petal's going to be right next to the petal. I might scoot it down the tiniest bit. But I don't have much room because look, this design fills up the whole hoop. So let me scoot it down. You know, I barely got any scoot. That's all you get. You just get the tiniest bit of scoot. That's all. Now the line needs to be moved over to the left. So I need to move that line over. So, because remember, this line right here, that is our seam right there. Which makes me go, am I going to have room for my other one? Okay, I'm going to get back to black. Yeah, I can see that better. Going to go ahead and press that down. My flower's really close to the other one, but not right on top of it. And move my projector down with my finger. Feel like I'm going to need to, my fabric needs to scoot a little bit. There. So I'm just going to lift my fabric up and down. There, right on the line. You know you want that precise because it's going to stitch in the ditch. And is that right there? There, right there. Okay, perfect. All right, we're ready. So I checked it. I'm going to go okay. Tack down for the batting. I'm going to leave it because I don't want to lift it up and shift it at all. I'll just cut it away later. Or placement for the batting. Let's go down here so we can go forward and backward stitches. Tack down for the batting. Like I said, because I just put that all down, I don't want to like lift everything back up again. That is the placement stitch for your background fabric. You know what I'm worried about? I'm worried that this is not going to have enough room for this one, right? I'm going to lift this up. And because I'm like near the edge, see, now you're getting an idea of like, this is thinking on the fly. I am going to do the hop first because I have my design right to the edge. What I don't want to do is stitch this one out and then have moved it down and then there's not enough room for the hop. So I'm going to do the hop first. Sorry. Hope you forgive me. I'm going to go home, clear the screen. We're going to put the hop in because I just scooted everything and I'm not confident I'll have enough room for the hop. There's our design. It's the 14-inch one. Set it. I'm going to scoot it. I had moved it all the way to the left, but not outside of my 9.5 by 14-inch field. And I'm going to scoot him up because he's a little smaller than the other design. And I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And we're going to go to embroidery. Could you use a fabric glue stick? Yeah, you can absolutely use a fabric glue stick. You do not have to use spray, especially if you are a wild sprayer and you get it all over everything. Don't do that. If you feel like you can't control yourself with your spray and you just have a heavy finger, Don't use spray when it's in the hoop. Glue stick is great. Yeah, absolutely. Use had my batting all in one strip and both pieces thrown together like you did. And all I did was the top stitching with the bunnies and the lettering I skipped. You know, I'm thinking though, is I'm thinking, yes, because you could just measure from the seam if you don't do the tack down. But I like that tack down because now I know I'm gonna measure 1/8 inch to the left of that. So, okay, here we are. This is where you go forward and backward stitches. This is batting, tack down for the batting, placement, tack down for that. And I'm gonna just do that outside stitch. And let's do, I gotta project first. Guess what? I'm no longer at stitch 0. I can't project. Go to stitch 0. Say okay to get out of that, and let's project. Sorry, I'm taking you all over. I'm moving my projector up to the top. Here we go. See this line? This one right here is the one that needs to be on the seam. I don't think I can move it. That's as much as I can go. Yeah, this is when you want. I'm going to muscle my fabric over, because this is as far as I can go over. This is where having the other hoop would be nice. So, nope. Now I'm good. Just right there I needed to be there. I might just do this when it stitches that very first bit. And then, does it need to go this way? Yeah, it needs to go this way. Okay. Maybe we'll hoop a little with a little more room on the left and the right so I can move that. So we'll move it over a little more. All right, gonna move it. Push it down, make sure it's where it needs to be. I think now I'm good. Do I need to go this way? No, I need to go this way. Because you do need to be spot on. There, that's spot on. All right. This one doesn't have to be as spot on because it's not stitching in the ditch, but I think I'm good now. All right. Now we can say okay. Now I can fast forward. And now I can go to the tack down, and I'm just going to tack down the left side, and my needle looks pretty spot on. Oh, you know what I didn't check? Sorry. I didn't look at how it looked if it was overlapping. I need to be at stitch 0 to turn my projector back on. I want to look at the very top, and I want to make sure my design's not like overlapping. Oh, see? Look at my bunny foot. It's on top of my P. And I'm not going to have much room to scoot it down. Let's go back. Projector. There. Now my bunny foot is starting exactly at the P. So we're good. Okay? I did have to like play with that a little bit because we didn't want him right there. Okay. Now we're ready. Let's go forward and backward stitches. You've done this like 4 times with me now. That's tack down for the batting, placement for the background, tack down for the background, and now we should be good. I might just give him a, there we go. I'm just going to go down this one side It's going to cut, and I'm going to hit stop. We don't want to stitch down the other side. So right out, it just stitched down that one side. I'm going to hit this button right here. That's going to go to the next step because I don't want to stitch down the other side. Now you see here our quilting stitch. It's going to start with the little bunny foot. And I'm going to go ahead and just make sure the foot's not on that. I'm going to go ahead and hit start. There we go. Perfect. Ah, there we go. And you could move it down a little bit. I could have moved the fabric up a little bit more, had a little bit of space in between the two. What is the red cord? Oh, that's so I film on my phone, and that's just the cord to my phone. Nothing special. You're not missing out on anything. Yeah, I'm glad we stitched this one first because I don't know if I would have had enough room. And the next time we do it, I'm going to move, I'm not going to put the design all the way to the left. I'm going to leave it a little bit away from the left, and that way I can move it left and right. With my design all the way to the left, that is just making it difficult for me to place. It's not giving me any room for error. You need to have it spot on. And that might be a good reason we could run it down, we could run it more down the center. Time for coffee. But I've got one more hooping. I mean, yeah, so we're going to do the hopping down the bunny trail, the big 3-inch design, and then we have one more hooping and we're done with this, and then we're going to do it in the 7x12. I mean, that was so spot on up there. Loved it. Let's go ahead. This one's always easier, I think, because everything's already placed. So now we're going to go ahead and we will go to Home, Embroidery. I did Design Database Transfer, and I think I picked the biggest, fattest one. Yes. Set, Embroidery. I'm going to go Projector. And I'm going to move my projector all the way. Maybe I could do a shot where you could see it. So the box always comes in the middle. I'm going to move it with my finger, and you're going to see it's going to drag up here on the screen. Now I'm going to move it over. So you use the arrows to move the design. Projector with your finger, arrows for the design, and that's scooting over right now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this camera over here so you can see the placement, because that's really what we want to see right now. Oh, and then look, it's disappearing. Why? Because the camera isn't all the way over there. I need to move it over so you can see the line of it. And now it's back up, and it is looking perfect. I'm going to see if I can scoot that up just the tiniest bit. Maybe we don't need that. We'll have it separated. This is what I'm worried about right here. See how it's, so I'm going to rotate it, and I think I need to rotate it this way, right? If it's, let's move it down a little bit. Or maybe I need to move the design to the right. And okay, we're going to rotate the design. I'm going to rotate it. Yes, that's the direction. So I don't want to, it's not on there. Put your finger on it, because this one makes a difference. There, that's better. But now we got to go up and check it again. Looks good. Whoops. Projector. There. So I did have to do a little rotation. So what I was doing is I was doing a combination of moving and rotating, and I only needed to rotate it a little. I just used these, and I think I hit it 3 or 4 times. So don't be afraid to use your rotation, your move, and the projector with your finger. And that looks awesome. It's perfect. It's right in the ditch. We're going to stitch. So this one was really easy to place. The first one's a little bit harder. Second one, because you can't really move your fabric anywhere. It's already stitched down. It's going to be easier. You can see it rotated right here on my screen too. So let's skip some steps. We've got our, let's go here where we go forward and backward stitches. Placement for the batting, tack down for the batting, placement for the background, tack down for the background. It wants to stitch this. I only want to do this side, so I'm going to go ahead and skip 10 so you can see the stitches being skipped. That's where it wants to start stitching. And now I'm going to go by ones. There, we bounced over the other side. I'm going to start stitching there. Let me smooth this and make it gorgeous. I did skip that step. I'm just going to cut it away later. Here we go. Spatula, please. I like to push my fabric with my hand this way. Just make sure everything lays nice and flat and the fabric doesn't get pushed to the left. And now we'll do the quilting stitch. Look at your screen. Make sure you see the quilting stitch, because sometimes we forget to do those other ones. And we know that this is going to stitch in the ditch, so we're going to be really mindful of that. And I'm going to control it. I'm going to be like, this way, this way. Slower. One more hooping. Sometimes when I do quilting with the fills in my machine, you have to be so spot on with your placement. And oh, that looks good. That was so can't even see it. Looks that good. But you learn that you can like kind of move your fabric a little bit just manually. Like you never really want to fight your hoop, but you can take your fabric and move it like up to like 1/8 of an inch just by scooting it like that. Don't be afraid to do that. Before I was doing it one-handed, I'm already learning that 2 hands, you have more control. I'm like, do I have to go right? Do I have to go left? You could slow it down too, because it goes fast. And I am of very slow reflexes. My, like Patrick is like a ninja. I don't know if you ever saw Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, when, I forget her name, but when she drops something off the table and the girl grabs it super fast, and she notices, and she's like, that's like Patrick. He has cat reflexes. I have the reflexes of a sloth. Hi, Miss Monica. Patrick and I are going to the store tonight, so we will be shipping. He's skiing right now. Skiing makes him a happy man. Okay, pretty good. I'm sorry. You didn't even really get to see that up close. I love this. Whoop! I wasn't even paying attention down there. Okay. Last hooping. How much do we have in here? Let's see. I'm measuring it. Oh, we could do our last hooping in the 7x12 look. I've got my ruler out. So we've got about 12 inches. Our last hooping's about 12 inches. Let's do it. I'm going to switch hoops. And look at all this excess. I'm going to cut this so I don't have this in the way. This is not necessary. Why suffer? And I'll use the other piece for the other side. I don't know about you guys, but if you're local, we do rolls of batting it's usually once or twice a year, where we do them 30% off. It doesn't make as much sense if you're from out of town because I have to charge you shipping, which I hate. But if you're local, just watch for that. Or you know what you should do is you should email me because I'll send you an email because a couple times a year we have free freight. There's Miss Pops looking all innocent when she's really not. Let me grab my 7x12 hoop. Oh my goodness. I had to, I don't put her shock collar on a lot in the house because I was going to say she's pretty good, but she's not. She's so naughty. I've never had like a super naughty dog until, oh my God, I almost showed you, I almost let the cat out of the bag. I almost showed you my wallflower, here, let's focus on his. Wallflower April block, because I still have it in the hoop. Nobody saw that, right? I didn't have it anywhere you could see it. I don't like breaking rules. I do and I don't. Sometimes it's kind of fun and exciting as long as it doesn't. I don't like breaking rules if it's going to hurt somebody or if it's like stealing or something like that. I don't like breaking the rules. Okay, let me go hide these so you don't see them and I accidentally leave them where everyone can see them. Although I know some people have seen it already, but we're going to pretend like we didn't. Okay, here we go. Let's try 7x12 and see what we get. And see if we love this more. Here we go. I don't know where my no-sew is here, you know? So we'll put it in, we'll adjust it a little bit. Do all the kids, they all left today. So they probably left about 10 o'clock. That's when I finally was able to get in here. And that's why I had to postpone it a little bit. I hate doing that to you guys at the last minute. I was like, okay, mommy needs to sell. This is so adorable. And I really don't think you can really notice it that much in the ditch stuff. And I think it's worth it, right? Just to sew this together and not have to deal with it the other way. To me, this is the way to go. And this is, if I had to do it again, this is how I would do it. So this will be a little further out. I'm going to just spray this down. Did it stick out of the hoop? I can't remember. I think it's going to be, okay, let's just spray it now. I'm barely spraying. I don't want to brag or anything, but spraying is one of my superpowers. I think my superpowers are spraying and loving. I love to love. Here, we're going to spray this too. We're just going to go. And then if I have to lift up, I have to lift up. So we're going to come up here because we have a little bit of no-sew. And I might have to adjust once I get in there. This looks wonky to me. This looks like it's going left and then right. Okay, magnets on top, magnets on bottom, little on top. And you know what I'm going to do? I know this sounds wild and crazy. I'm going to just put on a couple magnets and then we can adjust it as we go. But I want to see where this is going to be. Let me put this on. Okay, let's try that. Okay, we're going to put just these on and then we'll adjust. You know what I mean? Like, why be totally committed if we're going to have to move it around? And it's nice because you can just take off. It's not like you're dealing with the whole hoop. You have to take the whole thing off. We can adjust as we go. This is all on there. Fluff it. Make sure it doesn't go like this and then get stitched down. I would never do that, but I've heard of other people doing that. Just kidding. If you've been stitching with me, you've seen me do it a couple of times. You'll just notice I get really quiet. And then I'm always embarrassed. I try to hide it from you like I'm like a teenager. One time Kai, I don't remember. I don't know why he got in trouble because that's a kid that really is a rule follower. He got in trouble and then he came home and he's like, Dad, can you sign this? And he literally, hang on, I'm just folding up my... He like took his arms and he like covered everything, like his piece of paper. He like covered it all. He's like, can you sign this? He's covering everything so we couldn't look at it. We're like, what are we signing? That's how I was when I stitched my previous embroideries down. I was trying to hide it from you. Like I was a teenager, like I was Kai. He was more like a grade schooler. Okay, change to a different embroidery frame. I just slid on my 7x12, but my design is too big for that. So you just slide it. I'm just sliding it off like this. I'm just going to fold there, just like that. And now it's going to let me put in my next design. So I'm going to say, okay, let's go home to clear my screen. Haven't looked at any questions. Need to... Okay, just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Hi, Pops. So let's go skinny. This one is the 14. This is the 10x4/8. So there is no 12. These are, that's the 6.9. Yeah, 10x4/8. Otherwise, you have to go all the way to 14. I'm going to go ahead and set that. And I'm going to choose my hoop size. Don't forget to do that. 7x12. And guess what? I'm going to stretch him. I'm going to go edit, size, and I'm going to stretch him this way a little bit. That's okay. Nobody's going to notice. I just stretched him. All right. And now he's going to fit in there. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, don't do these because that means you're going to make it wider too. I just want to make it longer. So if it's not the size you want, you can make it the size you want. And let's go embroidery. I am going to slide my hoop on. I didn't put any magnets on the top. I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And let's go projector. Okay, I'm going to move my projector with my finger to the upper left because I want to get it placed with this. Ooh, he looks pretty good. And then I'll put my other magnets on. I'm going to move it over. And I want that orange line. Ooh, not bad. And I want to scoot him up a little bit because the feet were kind of on the, oh, and I'm probably about 1/8 of an inch away. But that's pretty close. This is what I want though. Like putting my finger to, ooh, with my finger pushing it down, it's pretty perfect. So I just got lucky. I eyeballed it pretty well. If not, now you can just go ahead and adjust your magnets, you know, left and right, top and bottom. So mine looks pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to put my magnet on the top, push my finger down. It's perfect that the seam magnet is right where it needs to go. But am I lined up left and right? Let's see. That looks good too. Maybe I need to go a little bit more over here. So I might move my design to the right one. Yes, to the right one. And let me move my projector down and make sure I'm right where I'm supposed to be. No, I'm not. So this, I can, I'm going to rotate. Function cannot be used when it is outside. I got to scoot my design down one. Did that get me closer? Yes, that's getting me closer. So I'm just looking to see which way is moving me closer. I'm going to scoot over to the right one. And it looks like I need to go one more. And I'm right on that line. But now I'm going to check. Now I have to go check. Let's go all the way down. Right on that line. Yes, I am. Perfect. Now I'm going to go back to the top again. Right on the line. Perfect. All the way to the top. And there's my little feet. Everything is perfect. So I did have to rotate. I did have to move. So I did a combination of it. And I was just using this one. And then I moved it over right or left. And you can see it's not totally in a straight line right now. But it fits the fabric. It fits the fabric. And I'm ready to go. Let's stitch. All right. Hang on. Coffee needs to move. I am going to go here where I can go forward and backward stitches. And I am going to skip the batting placement. I'm going to skip the tack down for the batting, skip the placement for the background. I am going to do the left side only of my tack down. And let's go. That looks pretty far over, but hopefully it's not. And fabric is malleable. That's what I love about it. Pretty spot on though. So I did a 14, a 14, and a 12. Whoops. We don't want to do that one. Okay, so let's skip. We don't need to do this side. We're going to skip ahead to the next step, which is going to be our quilting step. Let's go ahead and stitch it out. And I was like a little over, but it'll be perfect once we press everything out. It'll be perfect. Oh, look at this. I didn't put my magnets on the bottom. Let me do that. Good afternoon, Miss Renata. Thank you for joining us. What's everyone working on? How many of you working on Hoppin? Look how good they're being right now. Don't they look so cute? Poppy using the pillow. Patrick walked him before he left, so. I love stitching with you guys. I love setting this time aside. If I didn't, I just wouldn't get my projects done. So thank you for doing sew-alongs with me. Make sure you get your stuff and if you go off, that's fine. You've got to watch your foot. If your pattern is going off, watch your foot. When it comes off and it goes back on, that's when it likes to sweep underneath your fabric and ruin your project. So if it's going off and going back on, you can cut it and then fast forward until it's back on your fabric. You can hold your finger on the button and go really, really slowly so you can control it when it's stitching. So you have some options. But just be careful if you are sewing off your fabric. And there's nothing wrong with that. Miss Lisa is she's stitching her binding on May Cuties. Yes, I mean, it's pretty wonderful. Hello, Sunshine. And you have both machines going. Virginia is hopping with us. And Rebecca is doing everything all at once. Okay, we're going to do this side now. I like it even if you're not working on the project with us. I never want you to be like, oh, I'm not working on that, I can't join them. Just join us for a sit and sew. And I love it when you guys start having your little conversations with yourself, like people that have never met, but you know each other's names. I just love that. I love our A1 community. It's a special group. Okay, we're going embroidery, pocket, and someday I'm not going to have a store, but I'm still going to stitch with you guys. That's when I become a pusher. So with my group of friends, you know how you have somebody in your group of friends that is a pusher? They're like the ones that's like, this is what we're going to work on. And I've always been that person. So don't worry, I will always be there. We will always be stitching together. I will be pushing you to be like, we're going to work on this. Everyone get their stuff. Okay. Embroidery. Chose my design. Projector. And let's go up here and let's place. Here we go. Push it down because where you see it is not where it's going to be because there's loft. Push it down. And when I push it down, ooh, it is perfect. Now I'm going to check it. I'm going to check where I'm kind of far back. Shoot. Well, I'm just going to leave it. I'm a little bit, I don't like that I have like 1 inch away, but I really don't have any room to move it. I had enough room to move it up 1. So, but I'm going to just go ahead and leave it. That's going to be okay. I don't think any of you are really going to be looking at it and be like, did you see Jeannie's embroidery and how it was a inch away? Hopefully you're not doing that. And I'm over on the left. So I'm going to end up rotating. Whoops. Let me push them back up. I'm going to check the very bottom. And that is way off. So let me show you what I'm going to do. And you can't see it all, but I'm going to be working with all the buttons on my machine. And I'm looking right over here. I'm going to go ahead and move it to the right first to get a little bit closer to that line. And now I'm going to take my buttons over here. I'm going to rotate. And I think I have to rotate this way to get it closer. Yes. It's getting it closer. Oh, it flipped. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm too close up here and it took my whole design and flipped it upside down. I'm going to bring it down and go the other direction. And let me flip it back. I need it to go there. Let me see. Can I go down? Yeah. Rude. Did you see that flip on me? Not okay. Yep. I am not close enough. So here are my options. I'm going to check the middle. We are so far off. What do I need to do? I need to get my fabric this way. I'm gonna reset it. I'm resetting it straight. And I am going to I'm gonna do the center and then I'll deal with the rest of it. Nope. I'm gonna get my center line where it needs to be. Center. Now I'm gonna go to the bottom. And it needs to be this way. I'm gonna lift this magnet. I'm gonna lift these. Because I'm the boss. Not you. Me. There. Take a little stress off of that. Push my fingers down. You look good. Looking good. Okay, good. This is the nice thing about this hoop. I don't have to, I can do it while it's on the machine and adjust things here. Whereas the other one has like the big middle, one piece. You really do have to kind of take it off. What's going on up here? We need it this way. Yes. Push it down. Okay, I'm good. Perfect. Amazing. Ready to go. All right. I really do. I just use the magnetic hoops, so much more. And I know they're pricey, and that's why we try to do that great deal during the Brothers sale. And just treat yourself. Like, get one, and then maybe the next sale, get the other one. All right, I think I'm good. I'm just going to go ahead and let me take a peek up here. I also want to look up here, make sure that that looks good. About an inch, but whatever. And then the fabric, make sure fluff it. Make sure nothing is folded under. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. Did anyone ask any questions? I don't want to ignore anyone. Oh, yeah, that clothesline block was really cute. Sashing and border separately. Yes, maybe I'm making it look too hard. Am I making... Yes, it depends, right? You can just do it separately. And I've done lots of videos where I've done it separately before too. So let me go ahead and I'm going to skip some steps. We're going to go down here to this button, right down here. Oh no, does that, Julie, that makes me think that I made it look really difficult. Not my intention. Okay, placement for your batting, tack down for your batting, placement. And you know what? Sometimes as I do it, it gets better and it gets easier because I am kind of figuring it out while I'm going. So, and I think the 7x12 makes a big difference too. That just means I'm going to have to do 4 hoopings and I'm okay with that. Because if it's 4 hoopings and easier, I'd rather do 4 hoopings that's easier than 3 hoopings that's harder. This is placement for the background. This is tack down for the background, and we're only doing the right side. So I'm going to fast forward through. That's where the needle is, or we'll start stitching. And I'm going to go all the way. Now I'm going to go by ones until it bounces to the other side. That's the locking stitch, and now it bounced over. We're ready to stitch. Hopefully this one was easier because I think the 7x12 is easier. I am going to make sure this is... Don't put your finger in there. No fingers in the way. You'll get an ouchie. Yes. Then I want you to do whichever way. I always want you to just have options. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to do my little trick where I like pull it to the right, pull it to the left, make sure it's in the ditch. The next strip is going to be, you're going to do that when you're going to be like, oh my God, that was so easy and amazing. Because now we've done one and we know what not to do. Usually I'll edit stuff out. And sometimes when I'm doing other videos, I'm like, ooh, that wasn't very good, or it made that look hard, and I will refilm or edit it out. But these videos, they're just live. So you kind of get what you get. What is that spatula that you're using? So there are 2 sets on the website made by Tooltron, and one of them has spatulas in it, and I got it for Michelle to use for the Scanica classes, but I love using the spatulas just for as like kind of like a stiletto. I've just, you know, I have had way too many of you come in where you have had a needle go through your finger, and I'm really scared of that. So I'm trying not to reach under. So this comes in a set, so you can use them for scan and cut too, or whatever else you need them for. I'll show you the whole set. And then I love the other set is called the probe, which I think that word is so funny. It makes me like giggle under my breath. So there's a set that comes with 4 probes, but I love that little picker, and I've been using it when I pull my pieces off the scan and cut. Oops. Pay attention, Jeannie. Focus. But anytime you want to get in and you don't want your finger too close. Plus, see that this guy right there? I don't know if any of you have ever had him get you. Oh my God, he like ripped up my finger. This like screw, because you don't even notice him, and I was reaching under and he like just ripped. It was so painful. I'm still traumatized from that. So I don't really reach under there anymore. But here is, oh, I think I pulled out some of the pieces. But the probe, the spatula set comes with, and see how this one's double-sided? And there's 2 other, oh, look, I lost them already. There's 2 other pieces that come in here. And then there's a probe set that has, oh, look, I've lost 2 of these already. They're somewhere in my sewing room. So this is going to be the one. And if you want to do a little dental cleaning on yourself, you could use these too. But there's, this is going to be the spatula set, and then there's a probe set. I think I put it in my scan and cut. I got that little tray that Becky uses on the side, and I've been using that. 1 down! We did it! Took us 1 hour and 53 minutes, but some of that we were just talking and hanging out. Now I'm going to do the other side. So let's go ahead and do it. We've practiced one side. Now let's go ahead and do the other. Okay, time to hoop. First, a cup of gratitude. My coffee ring. I am grateful for. And now let's rehoop. Any questions? You guys good? I'm waiting for the next brother sale to get another hoop. Yes. Oh, and you know what? I don't think that's going to be too far off. Patrick was telling me that they start their fiscal year, and usually when they start their fiscal year, they do a sale. So hopefully, and we're working on getting all the orders out. So a lot of you are going to be getting invoices and stuff from us. But it looks so cute on the ones that are solid where you can really see it. Adorable with the hop. Now the other one, when we lay this one down, remember this is going to be the bottom border. And for me, I like it so everything's right side up. So I'm going to make sure the hop is legible this way. You might want a mirror image if you want, and you might want the bunnies to be upside down, but I'm going to make sure that my hop is right side up so you can read it, and my, ooh, shoot. That's hard. I think I am going to flip the bunnies because you need that stitch that's going to go right in here. I have no idea where the other one's going to go. Let's look at theirs and see how they quilted it, but I think I'm going to flip. Wasn't even thinking about that it has that stitch line that goes down the middle. Okay, so they did it so the hop is right side up and right side up there. But what I want to know is the bunnies. Did they do the bunnies? So can't really tell. I think, what is that? Is that a bunny ear? What are we going to do? What is your table that you are using to hoop? I love this table, and Patrick and I talked about setting up a, just like, is this the bottom? No, this is the top one. See how they're you can't even see their seam. But I'm trying to see which direction they have their quilting. Because I think you would want him. Okay, we're going to place that, but I'm going to have to figure out where, like how it gets placed, right? We're going to figure that out. Okay, so we will stitch this one with the hop and with the bunnies in this like just like this, but down here. So this table I got from Amazon, and it's made by Lifetime, and I love it. And the things I love about it is that it's light, it's small, it's bigger than a like a TV tray, but not too big and like it's got those folding legs, so you can just fold it up, and you can do it at different heights. And it is a perfect table to just go next to you for anything and everywhere. If you need a little more space, that's why this is so good. If you flip the words, then I would also flip the bunnies. I'm not going to flip the word. I think I'm going to, yeah, you're right. I'm just going to leave my words and my bunny, and I'm just going to do the hop, and then this I'm going to put right down below it in the same orientation. But I just don't know how to do it so that this gets sewn in. So I have to figure that out. All right, we're going to use the other side. So I made it a little bit wider so we could just use the other side. We should have plenty. I have had people say that they have a tough time getting these off. If you have a tough time getting these off, you could get the magnet lifter that they have for the other ones. You can order those, and maybe that can help you. So I should have plenty of room to do it over here. That's why I did it like this. I'm just going to go ahead and hoop. First one's going to be easy. We'll have plenty of room. Or actually, I should have that go over a little bit, so I have room to move it left and right. Ears below the hop. Ears below the hop. Okay. It would be gorgeous and variegated. Okay, Cindy, why didn't you suggest that before? Now I'm too deep. But yeah, I should have used variegated. Anytime I can use variegated, I use variegated. Why not? It is like, variegated is, it's kind of like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. And I have tons of variegated thread. When I'm quilting, I almost always use variegated thread. Now I'm regretting my decision to just go flint. We should have gone variegated. Okay, we're hooped. Hooped and ready to go. Finished. Check your bobbin. Let's go. We have all of this room. I'm going to go more in the middle this time because I have all this room on this other side. So why struggle? All right. Where's my fabric? Here it is. So when we lay this down, I'm gonna put it like this because this is the bottom border. This is where the hop is. Like if you turn it this way, that's how you're gonna be able to read it. And that's where the bunny design is gonna go. I need my piece of batting first. And let's go ahead and lay that down. I'm just gonna put it right down the center because I have all that room now. And now I'll be able to go left and right. And next time I would recommend not scrunching it over so far. That was me being frugal with my fabric. So I'll get my spray box and I'm just going to spray my batting just to start that and just to put it down. I wonder if I'm going down the center if it would make sense for me to trim as I go. What do you guys think? I have lost my spray box. Okay, found it. What do you think? Should I trim? I'm going to use my George ruler. I'll show that to you. So I got my George ruler from Hoop Sisters. I haven't ordered them in a while, but if you're interested. Don't spray the whole thing. You don't want to make the whole thing sticky. I'm going to go all the way to the top and right down the middle. And we have tons of room because I cut this 6.5 inches. Oh, maybe I'm not that stingy. I'm not going to put my other piece down. I'm going to project it down first. But that is, let's see. Maybe we'll do the bunny first. Let's do the bunny first. So we're going to do the bunny first because that's going to be the bottom left. And then, you know what I'm going to do too? Is maybe I'll scoot it just a stitch or two to the right so that'll get stitched in that the bottom seam. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm just thinking this out. Let's go ahead and I'm going to say okay. And this should be ready to go. Let's go ahead and just project. And I'm going to spray this. I'm going to lay it down after I project. So I'm going to take my projector, put it all the way to the top, and then I'll lay down this piece of fabric. So we need the gray at the top. So this part is going to go at the top side. I'm going to do mine in light gray. Yes. If you flip the words, just making sure I didn't miss anything. This is the top of the hoop. I'm going to slide this on because I haven't even slid that on yet. I'm confused. Oh, there. My carriage should move. I was confused because I moved my camera to the top, but the image wasn't at the top. So here we go again. Now it's the middle. You see the middle. I'm going to move it to the top. So you move the projector with your finger. That's where it is. Now we're going to lay our fabric down. And what I was thinking is there's my seam line, but I want this seam line to be a little bit down. So I think what I'm going to do is instead of putting my seam line right here, I'm going to put it there. And that'll move this one down, right? Did I do it the wrong direction? Do I move it this way and it moves down, or do I move it to the right? I move it up, and then that will move the other line down. Am I doing that right, or am I moving it the opposite direction? So right now, this is going to stitch there, but I want it to stitch a little bit lower. So do I move this way? Yes. The seam is here. I want the seam to be here. Is that right? I just sent you an email. Do I move it to the, if I want this to get encased, do I move it right or left? I can't think. It stitches here, but I want it to stitch lower. I think that's right. Or do I want it here and then it seems. Okay, I'm just going to put it right on it because I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. What's wrong with my brain? I'm going to put it right on it and then I'll just. Here we go. Maybe I'm going to put it right on here and then I'll move the design down and that will make it'll make sense to my brain. Okay, I'm going to move it like this and then I'll move, and then I'll scoot the design to the left. Yes. Okay, so we're going to be okay. I'm just going to center on this right now. Let's go with center. Bottom. And then I'm going to scoot my design so I don't have to think. Because right now the thinking is not working. Let's move right here. Because the brain is not working, now that I have it like this, I'm going to just use this to move my design 2 things down. And that should encase it. Okay. There. And that means I didn't have to move this left or right. But now I'm seeing that I needed to move this to the right of the last line. Does that make sense? Because I just want to make sure that last stitch gets encased. All right. We are placed. That was all we had to do. And I had to talk myself through that other part. Going to go here where we go forward and backward stitches. Placement for the batting. We don't need that. Tack down for the batting. We don't need that. And this is going to be placement for the background and tack down for the background. We're going to stitch just the left side. Go ahead and hit start. Where's my spatula? I put it away. Okay, hit stop because we're not stitching up the other side. And now we're going to skip to the quilting. Go here where you go forward and backward stitches. Go to your next step, and this is going to be the quilting stitch. And yes, look at your screen. Make sure you're seeing what you're supposed to be seeing. Don't you need to flip the design? I'm not going to flip the design because I want my bunnies to be upright when you look at your pillow. So I'm going to make sure that Hop is, I'm not mirror imaging the other side. Now that should get sewn in. But you've got to be careful. When you go to trim this, instead of trimming an 1/8 of an inch, you're going to go maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And that way you'll be a 1/16 of an inch above that, that bottom line. Hopefully that makes sense. So just remember, trim this a 1/16 of an inch. That'll make all the difference. Because you want to encase this bottom line so you're not seeing it. I'll do that. I'll do one final video that's going to be, I'll do one final video that is going to be the trimming, the pressing, and then sewing it all together, the whole front. I am going to be doing, it's going to be a paid for class, but I'm going to do a class where we put it all together on the serger, including the piping and the zipper, with a baby lock serger. So if you have a different brand, and I did put it on the calendar, but I haven't put it on the website. So if you have a different brand serger, you can join the class, but I'm not going to be catering to that brand because that's not what I have. But you'll need a 5mm cording foot. And I think you can do it on other sergers. I just don't know those sergers. Sashing. I think what flavor so the gray sashing should be in the center of the pillow, so you would need to flip the design. Yeah, I want it so it's like if you look at the pillow, everything is like right side up to the right side to read it. So I'm just gonna leave mine this way. The hop, like when you read it, this is the bottom, that everything is still upright and not upside down. But you guys can do it whatever it makes sense for your brain. I'm gonna do this side now. We're doing the 12-inch. So I'm gonna say okay. Embroidery pocket. I brought it in via Wi-Fi and I want the 12-inch one. And this is, see how this one, they don't really have a true 12-inch one. This one's almost 14 inches. This one is just 10.48. So I'm going to stretch it. So I'm going to go ahead and set it, edit, size, and I'm just going to stretch it this way. So my words are a little bit longer, a little bit stretched out, but that's okay. I'm going to just pop it in one. Okay. And we're going to say embroidery, and let's use our camera. Let's go to the very top. Or maybe we'll start at the middle. And that way we can rotate if we need to. And let's move it over. We're going to move it over here. And this is the line that's our seam line. So push down because it looks to the left, but when I push it down, it's kind of right on there. I might go one more over. There, that's perfect. Okay, let's check the bottom. I might rotate it just 0.1 to the left. Maybe I'll go back. Maybe I needed to go to the right. Is that better? No, I'm going to go back to the left. I'm right at the right where I started. I'm going to go all the way to the top. I feel like you know what? That's good enough. That doesn't go right to the edge, so it's good enough for me. We are placed and ready to go. Let's skip some steps. We'll see you, Rhonda. Layout. I'm sorry. Down here where we go forward and backward stitches. And I am going to skip the placement for the batting, the tack down for the batting, the placement for the fabric. We are going to do the tack down on the right-hand side only. So let's skip ahead. Right, it's going to start stitching here. We're going to go all the way down. You can hold this and it will go fast. And now I need to go by ones. Or you can go plus 10. I hop to the other side. I'm going to go minus. That was right on. So we're there. Let's go ahead and do our tack down. It's going to just go right up on the right-hand side. Where's my spatula? If any of you are here and you didn't get my emails, you're not in our group, you can always join the group. I mean, I have to put you in it, but you can send me an email and say, can you send me stuff for the group? Like any group you ever want to be in. Hopefully at some point we're going to be like online where you don't even have to reach out to me. You can just, I don't know, find your spreadsheets there, everything you need to know. We're just so low tech. Now it's doing the quilting stitch. Make sure you have that selected on your screen. And then we're ready to rehoop. Oh my God, I love it. I'm gonna put something on here that reminds me to cut only a 1/16 of an inch outside of that, because I will forget. And then that seam's not gonna get sewn in, and I'm gonna be angry. So let me just put a note. I don't know about you, but I feel like sometimes my brain doesn't work. So I'm going to put it right over here so it just reminds me. I just put trim 1/16 to the outside of the tack down on that side, and that way it will encase. So cute. I can't help myself. I love Kimberbell quilting stitches. I keep saying I'm not going to get them, and then I get them. A lot of them are included with our we get in like a sample pack. But there's some that I purchased because they are so darn cute, and I just have to have them. All right. I am going to take this off and hoop over here. It's just going to be easier for me. Just easier to have a bigger hooping area. This table is my go-to table for everything at this point. And it was like, so did I tell you how I looked for it? And it was, I found it was like $60, and then I keep searching. You know how you keep searching because different people sell it. Hello, this came off. And then I found it for like $50, and I found it for $40, but then it charged me $20 in shipping. And then I found it for $40, and there was like it was free shipping. And so I felt so lucky. You know, you feel so lucky. You're like, oh my God, I'm so lucky. Yes, I felt so lucky. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh. Okay, hang on. You guys can go outside and bark, but not in here. Do you want to go outside? But not inside, not while Mama's filming. Let's see how lucky we get. I'm going to put my magnets on left and right, and just in case we need to rehoop, and I'll go ahead and give this a little spray down too. Just got on, sew the borders together and I did do a video sewing the borders, and I will post that. So I'll post that. That's what I did, and that's why I was late, because I was doing that. This is in my way. I want this out of the way. I don't want this to get stitched down. I don't want I don't mind one layer under there. I do not want 2 layers. Right? Because then that's a little too chunky. Doug Love, one of my first jobs was I canvassed for the Connecticut Citizen Action Group, and one of the guys I worked with, I think his name was Rob Love. And I remember thinking, What a great name. I was just a Lee. Boring. I was like, love. Oh, I love that. I love. Okay, let me get this in here. And I think I'm going to come down a little bit. Because again, you have a little bit of no-sew area. And I might not be spot on, so I might have to rehoop. That's okay if you have to rehoop. Rehooping's okay, especially when you're doing something like this. So I think I'm probably about 1.5 inches down. I'm going to put on my side magnets and then we'll play and we'll see how close we got. And as you do this more and more, as I do this more and more, I should get better at it. Right? Hopefully. I'm just going to do these and then we'll adjust. I'll see if I have to take them off and we have to do top and bottom or what we have to do. Oop! Bye, Miss Susan. It's funny because I don't know you guys, but I know you guys. I don't know you, but I know you. Some of us have like known each other online for several years now. 3, 4. We started doing online stuff during the pandemic. Okay, let's see how close we are. And I might just adjust it, but that'll get us a little bit closer and we can just adjust it while it's on the machine. Now we're going to stitch out the, it doesn't matter because I left room. So I can do either of them. Before I was right to the edge and that's why I hooped the left side, but I'm more down the center and I can move to the left and to the right. So I'm going to leave this one. We might as well. It's already up. And, or should we do the other one just because we were doing it a little bit more special? Let's do the other one because we're doing it a little more special. So I am going to go to, I'm just thinking if like cutting it 1/16 because we did move it. I wonder if I have to cut it right on that line. I'm going to think about that. All right. I'm going to do the other one first. Brought it in via design database transfer. That one is my almost 12-inch. So we're going to put that one in first. Go ahead and set it. And I'm going to go embroidery. I'm going to get it placed so that seam line is right on the seam line. And then I'm going to nudge it down a little bit. And I can't remember if I nudged it down 1 or 2 clicks. So, here's my seam line. I want that to be right here in my ditch. Too far. Okay, push it down because it looks like it's perfect, but then it wasn't. Hang on just a second. Down. Okay, now I'm going to check the top. Ooh, we're way off, right? How far? I'm going to just adjust this because I can. So I just took off that mag. Oh, you know what? I guess we should do, the first thing we should do is top and bottom because that's where I don't have room to move it up or down. And I'm going to have to move this. Okay, thinking out loud. And that is where, so maybe that's what we do. Let's just hoop on the machine with our projector on. And I just hooped that. And what I'm looking at right now is just that top outline. And I'm looking right here at my stitch in the ditch. Okay, magnets. They're sticking together. Is that still looking good? There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and then we'll stick it down left and right. Hoping to give this to my grands for Easter. Yes, this is a great present. I know lots of people who are like, I do 3 of them because I have to give it to this person and this person. Okay, now let's check. So we only laid that. So the next time we hoop, I'm going to do it totally on the machine and see what we get. Yes, there we go. Maybe I'll do this one. That looks perfect. Let me get this one down here. Too far. Nope. You gotta push that magnet down, make sure it's okay. Right there, my seam. Okay, let me move it up. Yes. Okay, I'm good. Push it down because it's in my seam. Doesn't look it when it's up, but when I push it down, then it's good. All right, we're good. I think we're ready. Let's check the top. Yep, my line is right next to that. Everything looks really, really good. Let's stitch. So we've got the bunny. And then what I did was, because I wanted it to get encased, is I went bump, bump, 2 of them, which means I think I'm going to cut right on that line. I'm just trying to think because that bumps my tack down line so that my tack down line is not the true line. So maybe I just bumped it down 1. Maybe I bumped it down 1. All right. I'm just going to have to think about when I trim it because I want to make sure I encase. All right. Let's go where we skip stitches. We're going to skip the placement for batting, the tack down for batting, the placement for the background. We're going to do the tack down on one side because that moves it. So I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think of, and I'm 1 stitch to the left. I'm going to cut and I am going to bump it to the left 1 more. I can't remember what I did in the beginning. I have to go back to stitch 0 to move. And I'm going to go, okay, layout, move. I'm going to move it to the left 1 more just to make sure it gets encased. And then forward and backward stitches, skip, 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 stitch left side only. That's my tack down. Okay. And here we go. Once it does that left side, we're going to hit stop because we are not going to do the tack down on the other side. And now we're going to go here where we go forward and backward stitches. Oh my goodness. Poppy's butt's on my batting. Hang on. That's why it's all stretched out like this. Hopefully that did not affect anything. And we're going to go ahead and go forward to just the quilting stitch. Fluff, make sure nothing is turned under. And go ahead and stitch away. You're wondering where to put the pillow insert. Okay, I haven't been looking. Let me see if I missed any messages. Hello to your chickens. I bet you're super happy to have chickens right now because you've got eggs whenever you want them. We went to get eggs at Costco and they didn't have them. My third. Oh, okay, so this is Sherry. Sherry Love. I'm nervous about this. Yeah, don't be nervous. You can do it. It's totally fine. And if it's easier to do them separate, just do them separate. Or pillows, you're doing 4. At least this is a fun one, right? 4 of these I think is fun. Sewing Gal, post a picture of yours on our, if you could, on our A1 Sew Along group. I want to see it. Oh, so Miss Julie, if you want pillow inserts, we sell them at the store. They're the 16 by 38 inch pillow inserts. They're kind of big. I mean, if you can't get them locally, but we do sell the pillow inserts. They do suck the air out of them. So they're not too huge. I'm a little wrinkled here because this is where Poppy's butt was pulling my batting so hard. It distorted, but I never worry about that because we're going to press it out. I always press it out. And that's why I like using the muslin, and that's why I like using the batting in between. Are you going to post? I'm wondering. Yeah, we do have, oh, that reminds me. You guys know that Patrick wiped out 2/3 of the items on our website. So anytime you want something, if you're not finding it, let me know because it is such a big job for me to go through and figure out what's gone. So oftentimes I don't know until somebody goes, I was looking for this on your website and couldn't find it. So we'll put some more, we'll put the Hopping fabric kits because we do have those. And I'll just make sure that the 16 by 38 inch pillow inserts are on the website too. Because maybe they're not even on there anymore. Sad. I try not to be mad at him, but when I'm on there and I can't find something and I have to put it on again, I start to get really mad. But then I go, don't be mad, because he told me when he did it that it made him sick to his stomach. So then I try to be understanding, but then inside I still get really mad because, I mean, I know it made him sick to his stomach, but he doesn't go and like fix it. I have to fix it. Okay. We are going to go ahead and do the top part, and that should be easy. So let's go ahead and do that. This will be a lot faster. This will be a lot faster than the other one because did we already do one set? Yeah. So this is our second grouping. Our second grouping. Ooh, ooh. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to go embroidery, pocket, with my, that's design database transfer. And now we're going to do the skinny, which is not quite 12 inches. So we're going to stretch it, edit, size, and stretch it. Don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't do this because it's going to make it fat too. You just want to make it tall. I like my designs like I like my men. That's Patrick. He's tall and skinny. Okay. And then we're going to go embroidery and project. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Let's go all the way to the top. Bring your projector to the top. Do you like it when I do it like this so you can see what I'm doing on the screen too? So I'm going to have to move that. I'm going to move it over. Oh no, I have to move it to the right. And that inner line is my seam line. Push your fabric down. Make sure it's really where you think it is. Yes, it is. And then the foot is right there. It looks so good. I'm just going to check the lower part. Oh my God, that is perfect. And then the bottom. Oh my goodness, it's almost perfect. I'm just going to do that. And we're ready to stitch. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay. Let's go ahead and skip some stitches. We are going to go here where we go forward and backward stitches. I am skipping the placement for batting, the tack down for the batting, the placement for the background, and we are going to do half of this. We're not doing the left side. We're just doing the right side so we can use that for trimming. And I'm just going to hold my +10s until I pop over to the other side. Okay, I'm over here, but I don't know if I'm beyond it, so I'm going to go -1. Oh, that was perfect. +1. I'm right where I want to be. Okay, spatula. Spatula. Do you feel like we're in the groove now? Now you're like, oh my goodness, look at us go. Yeah, I'm sorry. There was a little warming up process that needed to be done. And figuring it out and going, okay, this is what makes sense. And now we'll do the quilting. Okay, here's bunny feet. I can't even sit and sew. I have to stand and I have to move around. Princess Poppy. I had to get rid of my chair. So now I have an ottoman and then Princess Poppy takes up the whole thing. So I try to like fit my chunky bottom in next to her. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, we do have to do, because I'm doing 12-inch, so it gets us to 36-inch. So you can choose, like you could do, so right now we're at 12, 12. That is, we could do 2 10s, right? And just go over a little bit. So we are at 24. So now we could go to 34. And then we could do a 7. Oh, I don't even know if this one had a 7. So you are looking at your numbers. So I think I'm going to do, there's a 10, right? I think I loaded the 10. So I might do 2 10s. Because if you do a 12, we're at 36. I'm going to see if I loaded the 10s. Oh, did I miss? Did I miss any comments? Wall hanging, 2 more blocks. We would love to. You know what you could do too is you can always email me the picture and then I'll post it. Screw tightener. Oh man. All right. Okay, we're ready to rehoop. Here we go. I do have a little pocket here where Poppy is allowing me to sit. Queen Poppy. Oh my God, she's on the batting again. Oh God. Poppy destroyed probably a third of my roll of batting because she chewed into it. This dog has cost me a lot of money. For a while, she was like $100 a day. I'm surprised she's even still here, but we love her. So, look how cute. Isn't that cute? So when we go to sew this together, I think what we want to do is we're going to measure this. We're going to come a little bit outside. Even if we, you know what we might do is, because who cares if it's like, you know, 1/8 of an inch smaller than the other side. I think I actually might trim directly on this line. And that way a 1/4 inch from here should just encase that bottom line. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I don't even need this stupid piece of tape that keeps coming up. I'm going to trim right on that line and then 1/4 inch from there. Trash can. Here we go. Remember what we said? I don't know why I took this off. What we said was we were going to just hoop on the machine. Turn on the projector, hoop on the machine. If you don't have a projector, I'm so sorry. But that is, we're going to work with the features I have because that is what I have time for. And if you don't have that, you can watch some of the other videos where I do it the traditional way. I'm going to put this back on my machine. We're going to put the fabric on. Now I'm going to spray it down. Fabric on. Ooh, ooh. Here we go. I'm going to guesstimate. I'm going to guesstimate the top only. Because I guess that, you know, thinking about it, that is the most important part. You don't want to be overlapping this. I'm going to cut right on that line so you just have room. You do have room, but I'm going to run it right down the center. And I'm going to guesstimate the top. About 1.5 inches. You guys can't see that, can you? Okay, I'm guesstimating. I just put my 2 magnets up on the top and guesstimated. And now I'm going to turn on my projector. And I'm going to do the bunny. I'm just always going to do the left part first. Let's just do it. Home. Okay. Embroidery. And let me see if I have a 10-inch. Whoops, that's not it. This is where I brought my designs. 10.48. What's this? 6.99. That's not going to work. We're going to do 10.48 and then I'm going to shrink it. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Oh, because we're doing 10.48 and my hoop is 7x12. I have a lot of room. So I'm going to bump that down. I'm going to hoop it, rehoop it, move that down a little bit because I can move my design up and down. We'll see you, Miss Julie. Oh, hang on. Mama, my battery's going dead. I got to get plugged in. Where is my cord? Let's see. Don't want to lose my connection to you guys. How's that? Am I charging? Nope. Give me just a second. Why aren't I charging? Still giving me a... Okay. Hang on. Gotta get the cord. This is how pro we are. Oh, here it is, right in my bag. All right. Okay, I have more room. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just rehoop this part where I bump it down just a little bit because we have room. I have room left and right. And move this over away from the edge. I'm going to fluff my fabric. So here, let me move it up. There we go. And now I should be good to go. Why is this not sticking? Is it too bulky? Might be too bulky. There we go. Wasn't in the right spot. Okay. And here we go. Okay, I'm just going to do the very top part and then I'll lay everything else down. So my magnets are on the top. Let's finish loading our design. 10.48 is a little too big, but I'm going to set it and now I'm going to size it. So I'm going to go edit, size, and I'm going to pinch this way. So it's going to go, and I'm watching my number right here, 10.06. I'm going to leave it 10.06. Let's just leave it. I mean, that's like pretty much 10 inches. So you don't always have the right size that you want. And even when it pulls it up, it's not like, I think that was the, I don't know which design that was. But I just put all the three, like, were they the three middle ones I put on there? So I'm going to say okay. And, oopsies, what were we going to do? Wasn't I going to do the, I was going to do the bunny rabbit first. Okay, abort. Let's go back. And Wi-Fi 11.75. Let's see what this one is. 9.44. That's the one I want because that's the closest to 10 inches. This one's 11.75. So I'm going to do this one, 9.44, set. And then I'm going to edit. I'm going to stretch it. Size. And we're going to stretch and get close to 10. 10.01. Perfect. Okay. Embroidery. Projector. This is the best way to spend. I love that. Right? Stitching with friends. Getting something done. Not having a UFO. That's my goal. My goal is for you guys to not have UFOs. I'm going to bed this down in my seam for this part. But then I'm going to bed it down in the seam. I might move this over a little bit so it's nice and straight. I'm going to bring it to the top. Am I like, I want to be spot on straight here. Here we go. And I won't want to be too close to this because you need a little bit of an edge. Okay. I'm going to use my move arrows and I'm moving it to the left. So I'm bringing it over. And I'm pushing down at the same time. I was surprised. I've had some people say they don't have friends that they stitch with. And I hope you'll stitch with us then. Because, yeah, we don't always have people in our area that are interested in the same things we're interested in. Sometimes it's hard to move your machines, too. So now we can just be your friends. You'd stitch with us. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and putting a magnet over here too to hold this down. And sometimes you have machines, and machines can be scary if you don't know how to use them. So hopefully you use us to become more comfortable with your machine too. I'm going to go all the way down to the very bottom, and then I'm going to put my bottom magnets in. And I love it. There we go. Fluff your fabric. Make sure nothing is getting turned under. Patrick is funny because he didn't sleep well, but then he has to also make sure I know that he's good enough, but it's okay because he's going to ski. He said he was super sore. I think what Patrick had was, I think he had the flu. One of the, we have a friend who's a doc up in Tahoe, and she asked if he was tested, and he was like, for COVID, and she's like, no, the flu. The flu is everywhere, and I don't know if that's how it is in your part as well. I'm not finding the other magnet, which makes me a little nervous because sometimes that stuff gets stuck to things, to the underside, and I just don't want it to get. Make sure you find all your little bits and pieces. I can't find it, so I'm just going to leave it. My machine does not know. Oh, on the floor. It does not know that I have only 7 of my 8 magnets, but I did just find that. Okay, let's go for it. So, did I check the top? Did I check the top? No, I didn't. But guess what? We have room because I'm doing a smaller design. That's the beauty of doing a design where it doesn't fill the whole hoop. The other ones I was filling it top to bottom. I have room because you can see I'm like over the line here. You don't want that, but I have room to arrow down. So I'm going to use my move arrows. I'm going to move that design down. Hopefully I have enough room. Yes, I do. And I'm going to do it so that the square of my bunny is touching the last stitch of that flower. So I've got about, I don't know, ½ an inch in between that. Looks good to me. I bedded it down here, but I'm going to hit my arrow 2 to the left. 1, 2. And that way I'll cut right on that and it'll encase. Ready? Let's go ahead and we're going to go forward and backward stitches. Hopefully this is making sense to you. And part of it is just this is what makes sense to my brain. I'm going to go where I go forward and backward stitches. I'm going to skip the placement for the batting and the tack down for the batting. I'm going to skip the placement for the background fabric, and I'm going to do the left side of the tack down only. So let's go ahead and say okay. Make sure nothing is folded under. There are my chicks. Some of you have, the bees are the original. And then for a little while, we didn't have any bees. So we, hit stop. So then I had Lori Holt chicks. So that got what put into your kit. And now we're back to having the bees. We'll see you later, Miss Anna. We're going to skip the other part of this. Go forward. Make sure it shows you your quilting. And go ahead and stitch away. Jermaine, my drawer of UFOs is big too. It's okay. We're going to get it done. Someday, when I'm not at the store, then we're going to just, we'll get together and we'll just stitch out UFOs. Right? This is how sad my UFOs are. They're like 98% done. Like pumpkins and potions, all I need to do is, I'd say that's 95, right? I have to layer, stitch in the ditch, and add embellishments. I'd say mine are 90% done, but that's pretty close. That's the stuff I don't want to do, though. So this is all I have left to do. I might be able to choose that other design, the 7-incher, and just stretch it. Or we're going to do the 10-inch and we're going to just shrink it. Or I think it wasn't it like 9.4 or something? I can't remember. Okay, now we're going to do the right side. Here we go. I'm going to go, okay. The home button's going to clear your screen. Embroidery, remember I'm doing 10-inch now. So I got to pick the design, the skinny one that's as close to 10 inches as I can get. 10.48, I'll take that one. Edit, size, I'm going to shrink it down. Squeeze it just a little bit. 10.06 is perfect. Go okay. Embroidery, now we're just going to project in place. You can always use your camera. Should we do the camera for one of these? Yeah, let's do the camera for one because we haven't been using that at all. Hit your camera button. It depends. If you're on a Destiny or Dream Machine, it's instantly going to start moving the hoop to take the picture. On the on the Luminaire and the Solaris, it's going to say scan. So now I'm scanning away. Watch out. Make sure that the end of your hoop, front and back, don't hit anything. If your hoop ever does hit something, I would just assume you've knocked your machine off calibration and turn the machine off and back on again, and then reposition your machine so the hoop moving around will not hit anything. All right, here we go. Here is our design, and there's our background. Now we can just move it. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to just go, I like to do this in the other screen, but I'll just leave it here for now. So layout, move. Oop. Oh, that looks good. I'm going to scoot it down. It's hard to see the hop, but you can go back into your camera and, oh, my resolution is all the way to the top. But see how you can increase and decrease the resolution of your scanned image? And I'm going to bring it down a little bit more. And I don't know if you can see it, but the foot is just at the P. And maybe I want to size it a little more and I want to stretch it out a little bit more. I could do that too. I'm going to bring the heel of that right to the P, and maybe I'll scoot it one to the right, and I'm going to go layout, rotate. I'm going to rotate just one little 0.1 to the left, and I think that might be maybe one more. Perfect. Okay. So you can use the camera instead. You do not have to use the projector, and some of you don't have a projector. So just take a picture. Come on, these are like the best machines ever. Ever. I'm ready to go. So let's go ahead, go here where we go forward and backward stitches. This is going to stay, this image is going to be burned on here until we stitch out the whole design. If you leave one stitch, when you go to do your next one, this is going to be up here. And if you want to get rid of it, you can just go in here to your camera and just go off. Or you can bring it back on. Off, on, off, on. I'll just leave it up there. And let's close that. And we're going to go here where we go forward and backward stitches. I'm going to go ahead and skip this. This is placement for batting, tack down for batting, placement for background, tack down for background. We're going to skip this side. We're going to do the other. I'm going to hit my plus 10s. One more plus 10, I think, bounces us. Let's make sure it's right at the beginning. It is. I'm going to grab my handy dandy spatula and let's stitch. Wasn't that fun? Using the camera is fun too. And if I go too fast for you, that's the beauty of the video, right? You can just watch the video and you can pause it and you can go, how did she do that? What buttons did she push? Miss Love, if you want this machine, the other thing you can do is we do have trade-ins, so you can always reach out to us. I think we can't put it on the website, but we could ship. Okay, I'm ready to do the quilting stitch. Look at your screen, make sure that's what it's showing. Sometimes I forget to skip stitches and the next thing it's stitching something, but not what I want it to be stitching. Maybe we should get together. What I want to do it all, but I can't. But I could maybe do like one evening where we work on UFOs. But you East Coasters would have to stay up to like 2 a.m. We could do like 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, but that would be 9 o'clock for the East Coasters. Or we just do it on the weekend. We should have Renata host. Renata's going to host the UFOs because she's good about it. Once a month, she gets on there, does her binding and embellishments. Renata. We just have the chickens running around in the background. Renata's got chickens. Sorry, puppy's pulling on my cord. Oh my God. She's full on, like on her back, belly up. Oh my goodness. Is this just the cutest? And that came out perfect. Should we do the last couple hoopings just with our camera? Maybe. I want you to know you have other ways of doing it. If you don't have a projector, that's okay. If you have a brother machine, which means if you have a baby lock machine, which is a brother machine, we can just use the camera. Let's go ahead and place the last one. Full on. We're going full on camera. Okay, magnets off. I'm just going to hoop right here on the machine. Sorry, that was bobbling. I just love my puppies. Puppy looks so cute right now. I love her. I hate her, but I love her. All right, scoot it up. Oop, one more magnet on there. Because we have so much room here now, and we're only doing this looks like 7 inches to me. We can choose the smallest designs. I don't even know if I put those on, but guess what? I can do design database transfer. And I'm just gonna make sure this is kind of in the middle so I have room top and bottom, plenty. I'll put my magnets on the left and right. We'll do that first. Okay, I'm gonna scoot this. I'm gonna go left and right because I can. And then we'll do top and bottom. And we have lots of room. And I'm going to camera it. Camera. Do-do, do-do, do-do-do. Yeah, let's full on just get all my magnets on. So when we used to do spring break, a lot of times Patrick and I often have to do spring break separately because somebody needs to be at the store. But I would take the kids to Broadway. Like this was pandemic. So I would take them to New York. We would go to Broadway and watch a couple of shows. I'm so out of touch. I didn't even know. How many of you have gone to see, oh my God, Momo's still outside. Hang on, let me let him in. Great Gatsby. I hear that's like the show to see. I didn't even know there was a show called Great Gatsby. And then I heard there's a mom. Oh, Poppy, did you fall? Poppy just fell off. I didn't know anything about that. That is not me whining. Okay, let's go home. Da-da. And we're going to go embroidery. I don't think I put the smallest sizes in. No, Poppy. Let's see how small. 10.4, but I did load some other ones. Oh, 7. So we have that one. And then let's see, did we get a little itty bitty? We did not. That's okay. Design database transfer. Let's do it. This is why we love. Okay, we are going to go. Here's my design database transfer. And we want the little one. So 2-inch, 2-inch. Oh, that is the smallest. No, that's 3 by 10. Oh no, here's 3 by 7. So we're going to touch 3 by 7. I'm already there. I'm already going to my Lumi. I'm going to put it down, but I don't want these. So I'm going to touch all of those, and there's a trash can because I don't want those. I want the 3 by 7. I have my Lumi. I'm going to send it down, and then I'm going to hit send to the machine. Piece of cake. Just try it. I want you to try it. Did you see how easy that was? This was up from before, so it was easy for me to select that design. We're going to go back in here. I'm going to touch that again because it should refresh. And this, nope, that's not teeny weeny. There we go. There's my 7-inch little. Set it. Take a picture. Be careful. Make sure nothing's in the way. I have a red light here. Everything's on. You know why? Because I just have to hit scan. Momo. What? What do you need? Love? Do you need love? Momo? What do you need? You want love and attention? Okay, I might have to go get them a treat. He's been turning his head. Momo, you want love? Do you want love and attention? Okay, let's place. Here we go. Oh, and let me get you guys back up on my screen so I can see what you're talking about. Can't we load both designs at the same time? Yeah, you absolutely can load both designs at the same time. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like, you know, stuff moves. When you stitch it, scrunches. You could do both at the same time. I'm just doing them one at a time. But absolutely, go for it. Am I wasting time? I just, yes. But should we load them both at the same time? Okay, let's do it. I'll do this one and then I'll add. So let's place. You can barely see my other one, but I can see the background back there. I'm going to close. I am going to, is that the little leaf sticking out? What is that? I got to look at it and see what's, nope. It's the point of the arrow. That is it. edit, rotate. I'm going to scoot him up. I can barely see the arrow up there, and you might not be able to see it, but he's right there, so I'm going to scoot it up. And I prefer if I'm not going off the fabric. And that's good for me. Okay. Let's load the other design. Yeah, let's do it. I might do. Oh, here, I'm going to take that off of you. Okay, let's go ahead and say okay, and let's hit add. So now we're going to add the other design. And that's going to be the little mini, whoops. Is that the itty bitty? Nope. Is that the itty bitty? That's the itty bitty. Okay, we're going to go ahead and set it. And edit, move. Okay, just watch for your lines, and you got to be mindful of what line you're looking at. Let me zoom in. So we are looking at this inner line. So there's 1, 2, 3. That third line is that seam line. So I'm going to go edit, rotate, because it is spot on there, but it is not here. I'm going to move it over to the right a little bit. That looks pretty good. I think I'm good. Okay, now I've got to scoot it up. So let's go okay. You can't see that top part, so I'm going to use the hand and move it down so you can see what's on the screen. And then I'm going to go move, and let's scoot them up. And I want the little feet, the heel of the foot, to be right by the P. And now I want to look at the bottom part of it too, to see if I'm off my fabric, so you're going to have to watch that, or let's pinch it. I'm going to go back to, let's say, 150%. And move it down so I have everything on my screen. We're going to go edit and size, and let's pinch it. I have to scoot it up a little bit so the heel is back on the P. And I just want to stay on my fabric so I don't have to watch my foot go on and off. Maybe I'll squeeze it one more time. You don't want to squeeze it so much that you're distorting it, but that looks good. Yeah. Why weren't we doing this before? I don't know. I think I was just in the mode of doing each one by itself. So I love it when you ask those questions, because I'm open to it. I'm open to trying things, and I just wasn't thinking about it. So now that we're done, I am going to stitch them. I'm not going to color group. I am going to stitch them one at a time. And first step is, let's go ahead here where we can go and fast forward. That is placement for your batting. Skip it. Tack down for your batting, placement for your background, tack down for it. And we're going to just do the left side. You can see where the arrow, where the little crosshair is, so that's where we're starting. And, oh shoot. Okay, I did want to scoot him down the tiniest bit. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay. We are in our layout screen, which means that if I scoot it down, it's going to scoot both of them. When you get to your layout screen, I'm going to turn this off. When you get to your layout screen, it combines your design. So if I move this one, it moves this one. I don't want to do that. I just want to move that one. To do that, you got to have them separated, which means you have to go back to your main edit screen. To get there, just hit return. I want this design, so red box around that one. Just touch it. And then we're going to go move, and I'm going to scoot him down 2. I still see my red box around the hop. There, now I see the red box around this. So I had to use my select, and I'm going to go 1, 2. That's where I wanted him to be. Okay, embroidery, now I'm ready. We do have to go back. I'm back to stitch number 0. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go all the way to the second orange, and I'm going to do the left tack down. Now I'm ready. Hopefully, I'm not confusing you. Oh, it's perfect. We're just going to do that left side, and then I'm going to hit the stop button because I don't want it to stitch the right side. Poor Momo wants something very badly. I don't know what it is. And now let's go ahead. We're skipping the right side. We don't want that, but we do want the quilting stitch. Let's go ahead and quilt. Can you place, yes, place on top of, that's actually Momo. Momo is very, can I say whiny? He is so, he might be upset because, oh God, I'm getting so much puppy love right now. Poppy, I don't know if you have a dog that is more dominant, but that is Poppy. And so, poor Momo, she'll kick him off the bed, she'll kick him off my lap. We work really hard to give him lots of love too. Okay, watch it. If you're getting close to the edge, you need to be careful, but I know mine's not going to go over the edge. We have been stitching for, or at least we haven't been stitching the whole time, but so far we've been on for 3 hours and 16 minutes. We're almost done. I'm going to record, I'll do the rest where I record it, but I will press and sew everything together. How do you put the icon for, oh, let me show you that. So what I did was, and I am on a, this is a, don't look at all my, Patrick freaks out because I have all of those open, but I go back and forth between everything. On my computer, I can go down here to the search bar, and I can type in, I'm going to type in, so you're looking down here, I'm going to type in design. It automatically puts up, and then you can put right here, pin to start. So you just hit that, and then it'll pin it down here to this bar. So pin to start. And then I can unpin it too. I think that's, or you know what? Maybe it'll say pin to taskbar, and that didn't come up as an option because it was already there. I think that's what it does. Okay, we should be ready to go. Oh my God, ladies, why haven't I been doing this the whole time? Sorry. Yeah, we're ready to stitch out the next part. I'm going to skip this, skip that. This is the placement. That's the tack down. We're only going to do the right side. Let's fast forward. Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't doing that. I just wasn't. I'm going to go back until I know that I'm at the very start of the right-hand side. So I have to go +1. And now I'm going to do the tack down on this side with my finger and my spatula. So let's start. Sorry, I can't see. Camera's in my way. Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't doing both at the same time. I don't know. I think I was thinking it was going to be easier for me to just do one at a time. That was silly. You know why? Because I was saving the best for last, okay? Okay, this is ready to go. I'm just going to hit start. I think as I was kind of figuring it out, and now that we've done, I should just tell people to skip to the very end of the video because that's where it got good. I don't know, maybe it's easier with the camera too. What do you think? The camera, what's great about the camera is okay, if you don't have a lot of room, and you're filling up the hoop, I really think the projector is the way to go because that will help you place it at the very top and the bottom. With the camera, when you have a hoop, because I have my 7x12 outline on here, and you have lots of room that you can move, then the camera's great because you can just move it all the way around. If you're skimping on space and you don't have a lot of room top and bottom, use your projector because that way you can get it right where you need to start it, is kind of how I'm thinking. And we are done. We did it. Why does this piece look so much smaller than the other one? I must have started way up at the top, right? And here we go. Yes, I started way up at the top. So that is all I'm going to do right now. I will film the rest, but I'm going to go ahead and do that later. I'm going to press it. I'm going to trim it. I'm going to sew together all the front, my front pieces. I will do a pieced back. And then I think I put it on the calendar for, what day is today? The 16th. I like having at least a month to get your stuff, but I think all you're going to need, if you're going to do the other class with me, the most important thing you're going to need is cording and a 5mm cording foot. That is what you're going to need. So I will get that up on the calendar this weekend. So when we're back in the store on Tuesday, you guys will be able to, where are we? Hello. So that's what we'll do. So we will do, we're going to do the rest of it, the putting it all together on a serger, and that's going to be a serger class. And it's going to be great because I think people really enjoy learning how to put in a zipper with the serger and making their own piping with the serger. So I think that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Patrick and I are going to be at the store tonight. We're going to go and do some shipping. So if you're waiting for some stuff, we're going to work on that, as well as getting you your brother's stuff. And if you have any questions, just reach out. I'm just trying to think if we should do the assembly all together. You guys know how to do it. I'll go ahead and I'll do a video. So if you don't know how to do it, there'll be something for you. Have a great day. Be creative, make something awesome, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys. Here's my shut off button.